What's up, guys? We are here for another Who Are They Real Talk. Once again, I am Matt, and joining me, well, Nick will be here in a little bit, so I can't say as always, but joining me today is the one and the only Chris Anthony Lopez and the Ragent himself, Taylor Clee.
What's going on? The talk is real. I love it.
Chris, I suggest if you have headphones, you might want to put them in.
Oh boy, we're getting off to a riveting start. Got a little tech issues coming up at the top of the show, so things might get a little weird tonight. Just be ready for it. Things get weird. You just gotta. It is what it is.
Ignore the whiskey that I just put on my shelf. But we got a fun one here for you today. Got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit of WandaVision. We got 3 reviews tonight up top, which is insane because it feels like we haven't had to do reviews in, well, forever. So it's a good feeling to have. If any of you watching just came from Swag Day, Fun Day, nice to have you here. I know Winston let me plug that real quick. I appreciate that. I appreciate Winston for letting me come on. And yeah, it's been a crazy night. Browns lost. It happens. Still wearing my jersey. Still proud to be a Cleveland Browns fan.
Are the dogs getting checked or what?
No, that would have happened already. Sean has the Rona, so
damn. Doc this man's health. We'll get well soon.
Well, he's okay with it. He feels bad. All right, Jess. He feels bad because, well, basically what happened was he got tickets to go to the last home game of the season in a box for the company he works for, and he decided to go. And a few days later, he had the Rona. So,
oof. I hate to hear that.
Yeah, it sucks, but that's life. Am I right? What can you do? What
I suppose so.
You do.
I suppose so. Chris Anthony Lopez coming back, making a second pass here at the show. Like I said, anticipate some tech issues tonight. It happens to the best of us. This is it. We've said it many times. This is what a live streaming podcast. These are the things that happen. Sometimes you have tech issues and you can't anticipate them.
Exactly. It was a pleasure to talk to the Queen of Corruption herself and possibly talk to her about getting on another show we have on here.
Wow, you're just gloating in front of Chris when he can't properly react. You hate to see that. How rude. How rude. How you doing down there, Chris? How you doing, buddy?
What's new?
It is.
New?
He's moving. He's moving in real time, live action. That's a lot better. It looks good now. Oh, did I speak?
as long as y'all can hear me, if y'all
we can hear you. That's the important part. We can hear you. That's the important.
That's all I care about. So if y'all ask me something and I just have a delayed response, or if I just don't respond, it's not that I'm ignoring you, unless it's Matt. So Taylor, if you say something to me or if you ask me something.
Oh wow, Chris just had some more technical difficulties. Oh my God.
So rude. Wow. So rude. Hate to see that. But no, it's good to be back on Real Talk. I haven't been on this show in quite some time. I think the last one I was on was the Fantastic Four fan cast.
I think that was the last one we did before last week's episode, if I remember correctly. So,
I got you. All the same, feels like it's been a long time to me. So good to be back. Good to talk all things that are real here in the theater with you guys. Great way to end a Sunday. Let's do it. What we got? What's on the docket? I understand there's a lot.
There is a lot of news on the docket. There's some trailers that came out there's a trailer that came out this week. There's some snippets that we've gotten of pictures and from shows and whatnot. It's just, we got a lot to get through. We got a lot. I'm probably going to start off with the thing that's going to demand the biggest conversation, and that is our review of WandaVision.
Ooh.
Most of you know my thoughts on WandaVision. I even tried to give it a second rewatch. Not the third episode, because unfortunately they locked critics at access to that show. Literally, it was kept until Friday morning at 9 a.m. So after Friday morning at 9 a.m., I lost the third episode. So you'll hear these two thoughts real quick on the first 2 episodes, and yeah.
Hell yeah. First of all, let me make it known, Matt over here He was so anxious to try to get me to not be excited about WandaVision. Chris as well.
No.
I know. I want to hear it. We were like, don't tell us about WandaVision. This dude has just kept trying to tell us that he didn't like it that much. And it didn't work. Very predictably, I'm having a blast with WandaVision. I can't believe that Matt over here thought I wasn't going to enjoy this.
I said you were going to enjoy it.
You kept making all these faces. I was like, I think I'll like it. You're like, I don't know.
I'm like, the faces are like, yeah, I know you're going to enjoy this, but it's just, I guess my thing is, and since I can say, because this is spoiler heavy. Sorry, this is the spoilers. Non-spoiler review is Friday. If you haven't watched WandaVision by now.
Oh, we're spoiling?
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, whoa. It's been 2 days.
Okay, we did, it don't matter. We did spoiler reviews of The Mandalorian.
I don't think there's any reason
I don't think we should spoil WandaVision.
Bro, it's 2 episodes that probably everyone in the world has seen by now.
Yeah, and this is the start of our episode, so let's not start spoiling something to make people stop watching. Let's cool it. I think we can talk about this.
When I did Mandalorian on here, I didn't spoil Mando.
I spoiled Mando.
Well, I didn't spoil either.
You spoiled a lot of things, Matt.
I don't think we need to spoil. I think we can very easily talk about our thoughts on the show without getting into nitty gritty stuff because we don't even, at least I didn't see the 3rd episode yet, but I don't have any nitty gritty stuff to talk about yet. I'm still figuring out what's going on. Everybody's wheels are spinning, theorizing, coming up with picking Easter eggs, finding the explanation for what's going on in this show. First of all, let me just say, I'm having a blast with WandaVision so far. And I love that this was the first Marvel Disney Plus series that came out because it is so different and unconventional, and it says, hey, we're going to do stuff here that we wouldn't be willing to try on the big screen. We're not going to take the risks over there because they cost $300 million. Here, we're going to try some different stuff.
This show costs $300 million.
Good. It should, because it's awesome. I love it. And I love how different it is. For real, people, what's the most consistent criticism the MCU has always gotten is how it has a tendency to be formulaic, samey. Same story, just different characters again and again and again and again because it's comic book movies.
The same beats.
Exactly. Now they're like, hey, we're going to come at something with a totally different tone, totally different pace, totally different kind of story. And the first 2 episodes are riffs on sitcoms. And I don't think we're done playing around in the sitcom world either.
Oh, I can promise you you're not.
Perfect. I'm totally into it because I know Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to be closer to what we're used to from Marvel. And I'm excited for that too. But I love that how different this is and show that they're willing to actually experiment, which puts it closer to comics, which aren't always big event stories, which aren't always your straightforward superhero punches bad man, right? So like doing something that's more experimental and more inspired by kind of a creator-driven book. I love it. I'm really excited for it. I don't know what's going on. I don't have a definitive opinion on it yet, but so far I am digging it. I'm totally into what it's throwing out there. Love it. What do you think, Chris?
Oh man, I haven't stopped thinking about this show in 3 days. I stood up and watched it on Friday morning at like 2 something, whenever it was playing here in Oklahoma, and I love this. I love everything about this. I don't know what I can't love about it. It's a great homage to sitcoms of the past, like 50s and 60s, and like I Love Lucy and Bewitched to be exact, and I mean, we get more time with Wanda and Vision, and in a setting that we haven't necessarily seen them before, that we haven't seen any of these characters before. And I love how clever it is. It's extremely well written. They give us enough as fans to be able to like take things away. Like, oh, did you see that detail? Did you hear them say that thing in that way? So to the point where we can be able to decipher it in our own way. But at the same time, it's so vague, and they leave it like that on purpose. If you have seen the trailers, you kind of know where this is going. I opted to stay away from them past a certain point because they started showing us a little too much. I mean, Marvel tends to do that from time to time.
Yeah.
And with this show, to be exact, they've only been showing us, like, they stuck to the world that they established in the beginning. I love the intros that they've done that have gone in the style of the show that they're emulating, whether it's I Love Lucy or it's Bewitched. They've done different intros written by the people that wrote the music for Frozen. So they're staying in-house, and it's fantastic. It's so good. It's a great love letter to sitcoms of that time while also advancing the story between Wanda and Vision. I've had some people tell me I don't like this because it's not action packed like how I thought it was going to be. Just wait. You got to hold your horses. They're going to make us earn it. And really, how much time have we spent with Wanda and Vision up until this point?
Yeah.
And I want to get to know these characters, especially together. Like, we've seen a little bit of them together in Infinity War, just a little time before Vision got stabbed, and then everything went to hell.
Yeah.
But I'm loving what we're seeing so far. I think it's really well done. They're short, and they keep it concise, like how a sitcom would be.
Yeah.
And I like that. They're playing up to the tropes of those shows. And I love that they're doing that. And it's not that I'm a big fan of I Love Lucy. I'm a big fan of Bewitched. Although I love what they did at the time from what I've seen. But it's a great job. They're doing a great job of not only showing love to how those shows laid the groundwork for a lot of what we're seeing today, at least in sitcom wise, but they're also they're moving along the story between Wanda and Vision, and we're learning a lot about them together.
Yeah.
It's not, oh, how's this going to advance the world after Endgame? We don't need to know that yet. And we probably will find that out. But to start, I think it's the kick-ass start. I was so happy with these episodes. I was so happy with them.
Yeah. I love how it just throws you into the wild. And in 2 episodes in, I mean, they were probably wise to go, let's give them 2 right at the start, because they are short and because they aren't explaining anything right away. And they still haven't. It's, it's like playing it pretty straightforward as like, this is a 50s sitcom, and then it's a 60s sitcom. It's like 3rd episode, we're going into the 70s. Playing it pretty straightforward with like the kind of gags and plots you would expect. And then just once in a while, something breaks, something pivots. And Wanda's looking around like, uh-oh, is the jig up? Quick, let me scramble real quick and make sure nobody like freaks out. I think it's such a cool, I know people have said like it's Lynchian. I wouldn't go that far, but it is very surreal, very dreamlike, and it just not a chance they would have taken in a movie. And I'm really excited that they were willing to indulge in the weirder side of comic book storytelling, because it isn't always, big budget save the world storytelling. It might get there. We probably reasonably are expecting that it'll bridge some sort of gap from here to Multiverse of Madness based on what we know about that film. And we already see the sort of Marvel elements. The Easter eggs aren't just Easter eggs. You can already get the feeling that there is some sort of cohesive hint at what's greater stories going on. And I'm trying to speak in a way where I'm not being too particular, because there's still not a ton left to spoil. Like, there's not a ton there to spoil because it is so strange and mysterious, and it is that like mystery box thing of trying to figure out what it is. Hey, look, it's the most handsome man on this channel, Nick Mobach. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, everyone. Wait, can you hear me?
Whoa,
You sound like you're in an auditorium.
Whoa, say that again.
Hold on.
Wait, speak again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that was amazing. You should turn that back on.
I'm testing out this new microphone. This is the second coder. Hi, everybody. How's it?
Hey, sound like you were yelling at me across gym class. Good to see you.
Hi. Sorry.
We're getting into a little WandaVision here. Jessica in the chat said WandaVision reminded her of a crossover between The Truman Show and Pleasantville. Love making so many different guesses while watching it, with each Easter egg that comes up. So good. In episode 1 to 2, they are evolving and different, even though the episodes are short. Yeah. Nick, have you watched any of WandaVision yet?
I have. I thoroughly enjoyed watching my black and white episodes of WandaVision. Loved it. Fantastic. It really did. Like, growing up, seeing all these like TV Land things, I know that's what everybody seems to be like comparing things to, old TV shows and stuff like that. And and I understand like the whole getting weird thing. Hi, Chris. I obviously want it to get weirder and weirder as time goes on. I honestly think that they started off by not getting as weird, just as a precursor to casual Marvel fans, though I do agree with Matt in the conversation that we had earlier. We were promised this weird, and whether it did get weird enough or not, I don't know. I liked it, though. I really did enjoy watching it.
Yeah, I like that it isn't too much up front, that it is setting whatever this sort of world is, which is some rendition of the Marvel world that we know, but it's not the same one. It's setting it up slowly and it's taking its time, which I think is good. That's the strength of a series. You don't have to give everything away at once. You don't have to pack it into a clean 2-hour story. You can give little things at once while still telling these kind of kooky sitcom stories, you know, with against the backdrop of Wanda and Vision, which also it's just awesome to have more, because we were saying we haven't had much Wanda and Vision. I think we especially haven't had much Paul Bettany getting to play with this character.
No. And that's a huge thing, is that like he's given this opportunity to finally do something. Gives Vision a little bit more personality, obviously. And that's something that I really do enjoy, because Paul Bettany is freaking awesome.
He's really funny in this show. The entire second episode, and again, we're being sort of lax. We're being careful on the spoilers. At least I'm trying to be. But the second episode, the whole magician thing and like why he's messed up and like this weird like drunken robot performance that he's giving, I thought was so funny. I think he's really great in it, because he always has been in the films. He's always giving that performance as part of a huge ensemble.
Yes,
he's always plugged into Avengers movies. I guess Wanda as well, for the most part. He's always plugged in to these. I just feel like we've seen more of her than him even. So like it's great to see him actually get some time to kind of experiment with that character and give this such a weird heightened performance. And same for her. It's funny to see Elizabeth Olsen at the center of like a 50s sitcom. It's just so funny to see this like modern huge actor giving this just bizarre campy performance. It's great. I think it's awesome so far. And I don't even know what I obviously have my own little theory. We've all got our theories. You know, we're all checking out the Easter eggs, top 10 things you missed in WandaVision articles, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So we're all seeing the wheels turn and figuring out what it is. But I'm along for the ride. It's going to be tough next week when they're like one episode. I got to watch one and it's like 30 minutes. And I'm like, I want more, you know.
Which is so strange.
It's even shorter than what we got.
To be watching like a 30-minute long Marvel thing. That's not like a cartoon or anything like that. Because obviously I know that a lot of the TV shows and stuff like that, for the animated stuff, that's going to be your format that you're going to be running with. But like for it to just be like a Marvel TV show, 30 minutes or around there, obviously.
Yeah.
If we're going to be getting shorter, it's just, you know, I love what we started with. I'm excited.
Yeah, I dig it. And I'm also, to kind of paraphrase my man Connor Breedlove on Twitter, he put up a couple tweets that I thought really summed it up super well. Just love having Marvel back in the zeitgeist, as he put it. Just feels great to have this back in our lives. You know, it feels silly to be like, it's been a whole year and a half since we had something from this franchise. Like, used to go 3, 4, 5 years at a time before you revisit a franchise. We've been so spoiled at getting 3 or 4 movies a year from these guys. But it does feel so good. It's the first thing we've had since Far From Home. It feels so great to have these characters in this world back and be back in a place where we can start building those fan theories and having those conversations. And I like this part. I love this part. It just feels awesome to have Marvel back in our lives. It's great. This is the sensation I expected to get once I saw Black Widow finally. I don't even know when that's happening, but even just having this, I'm like, yes, finally. I'm just happy that Marvel's back in our lives. I love it. I'm a mark. I popped, Chris. I popped.
You popped.
No, I mean, the last like 5 minutes, I did not hear a single word you guys said. But
I enjoyed watching.
I
That's all you missed.
Okay. I mean, yeah. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea to begin with. And I heard a few people like Matt has said this to us, and another one of my homies said this to me. Like it's slow paced to them, and I totally understand. But to me, honestly, I think it's perfectly paced because of what they're trying to emulate between the choice of the sitcom gimmicks in the 50s and 60s. So it may be slow from what we're so used to because Marvel's just brainwashed us the last 13 years into how these movies should look like. And since this looks like a movie, it has the money like a movie, and it starts off like all sitcom-y and like that's my wife, that's my husband, you know, like And now here we are. It's not the same thing as it shouldn't be. A show like this is going to be weird weird's an understatement with this thing. And I guarantee one of y'all, Taylor, I think you might have said this a little while ago, but this is weird as hell. And we have no idea why. At least some people are speculating why. I'm over here. I look like I'm solving the crime. I have all my theories up, my newspaper articles, like, oh, this is what's happening, and this is who's this and who's doing what. Like, and that's the best part. And I could not agree with what Taylor said any more than I already do. Like, the fact that we get to have these conversations. I had people hit me up because I'm their resident Marvel dweeb, and they're like, Chris, what's going on? It's like, well, let me tell you. And then I'll go ahead and do it. It's the best part. And honestly, it's the best part to me. Yeah. Like, the fact that we can all engage in conversations like this. Mm-hmm. And now here we are. I'm talking about 50 sitcoms that star an android and a witch.
See here, my it being slow is a little bit different than everyone else's. It's not that I expected action, and I was talking to Nick about this earlier. I wanted more weird. That's what mine was about. I wanted more of the weirdness. I get that it's for the casual fans that they're not diving right into it, but realistically, you've been selling me this thing for over a year about how weird and crazy this is going to be, and I didn't get enough of it, and that's why it's slow to me. I wanted more of the weird. So
I would say it's pretty damn weird when you contrast it with everything that Marvel's been so far, which is blockbusters.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing with that. I just wanted more of it because I'm that guy. You sold it to me as this. Give me more of the weird. That's just me.
I think you're going to get more. We just hit the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me.
Yeah, we just started the show. Yeah, see, and I mean, like, I didn't know we were flexing our muscles on the show today. We were like, the thing with WandaVision is that of course, you're gonna see more crazy stuff, and they're not gonna show us everything. And Matt, the privileged who got to see an extra episode, like, they're not gonna show everybody that. They're not gonna show us all this crazy stuff before it gets crazier towards the end. This was pitched as the lead-in to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Like, that movie is going to be effing weird. Like, Doctor Strange is already trippy itself, but now you got Sam Raimi with that movie, and this show is supposed to directly tie into that. I'm in the camp where, like, we haven't seen anything yet, or to those of us who have seen the extra 30 or so minutes, you still haven't seen anything yet. Like, this is already like this. They showed critics 3 episodes for a reason. Like, they would show them like, oh my God, I got to see Brother Voodoo show up. Like, really? No, like, they're not going to show y'all that. But later in this season, we might get crazy, and there are already theories running wild about some of these characters and how they might know more than they let on. But I'm not going to get into that because everyone should go watch WandaVision and form their own opinion. Yes, because this is definitely the most unorthodox thing the MCU has done, and we're only 40 minutes deep.
Right. And I would say this is very promising to me for everything they've got coming up on Disney Plus, because it's saying, yes, we're going to take risks and tell a story that we weren't willing to tell in the movies. This is probably going to be the weirdest thing for a while, but we've got a Secret Invasion show coming up. We've got a Moon Knight show coming up. And
Moon Knight, baby.
Yeah. This tells me, like, hey, if the story calls for something that we wouldn't be willing to do in a film, we're gonna have the nerve to do it. And I think that's awesome because, like, those stories lend themselves to taking risks, to being a little less formulaic, being a little more unconventional. And that's what this is. So I'm just really excited. This is what they opened with, because that says, don't get too comfortable. Don't think you know what this is. The series are going to be something else. They're going to all be tied in. It's all in continuity. It's MCU. But to me, this makes it feel more like going to your comic shop. And yeah, they're all Marvel comics on the table here, but this one is going to be telling a different story than this one, and this one's telling a different story than this one. And eventually, the year-end event comes up, and they're all going to hang out and team up, and they're going to be on the same page. But for a while, different creators are going to go around, and they're going to have different ideas. And this finally, I mean, that's what's so great about Marvel Studios is they've somehow pulled it off. They made movies feel like comic books. It's all the individual movies, and then it's the Avengers movie. They pulled off the event with Infinity War and Endgame. So now it's like we can go into the really weird stuff. We've proved it. We've pulled it off. We can do anything. And I'm really excited. I'm happy that they pulled it off, and I can't wait to see what's next, because we got real comfortable, and we don't know what's going to happen this time. So I love it. I really love the tone they've set with WandaVision. Also, happy birthday to the GOAT, Betty White.
Happy birthday to the GOAT. And I want to say one more thing before we move on, or at least I'll say one more thing to end my piece of this. WandaVision has some big shoes to fill. This is the first MCU release after Endgame, and it wasn't supposed to be. We were supposed to get Black Widow. We were supposed to get Eternals. We were supposed to get whatever the hell else.
Falcon and Winter Soldier, those are the 3.
That was supposed to be in August, and now here we are. WandaVision. It's hard to sell. This show is hard to sell to someone who already hasn't seen this Marvel stuff. It's difficult. It's like, oh yeah, you want to watch superheroes in a 50s sitcom? No. But the fact that we've grown with these characters since at 2015, right? Like we got to spend more time with them. And I don't envy anyone having to follow Endgame. I don't. And that's awfully difficult to do. So I wish Black Widow got to do it, because that's people have been clamoring for Black Widow. It's that big budget action movie that people have been wanting for. Some people may have expected that out of WandaVision.
It was the first.
And the show gets released, and some people.
I was adding to Black Widow. It's the show the movie they said was going to change our entire perspective of the MCU.
That too. Yeah, like Black Widow had a lot writing for it, and it got pushed back a whole year, and WandaVision had to step up and be like, you know what? We got done shooting. We got this. And it comes out and everyone's like, yo, that's so weird. But we like it. And this is going to be dope. I cannot wait to see how this pans out over the next, how many episodes they have? 8? So 6 weeks. It's going to be dope.
That's crazy. Like, that's going to be quick.
And then once it's done, how long do we got till Falcon Winter Soldier? Not very long, right?
No.
March.
And they might bleed into it.
Basically, it lines up where Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to start when this ends.
Beautiful. Yeah. This year, here we go. This is the momentum we need to make this year worth living, right? This is Marvel all day, every day. Black Widow might come out sometime. Eternals, I think, exists still. Shang-Chi.
Black Widow's in May. Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings? The Legend of the 10 Rings, baby?
We get all 10 rings?
That's July,
I believe.
That's July, baby.
Unreal. The world
we'll get to
is
that
healing.
Stuff later. At least I think
so. The world
so.
is healing.
Potatoes are coming back to Taco Bell.
The world is healing, baby. Let's go.
Everything's getting better. Thank you, WandaVision. Maybe this is my WandaVision.
Thanks,
like I'm living in some false reality in which they brought potatoes back to Taco Bell.
Oh, if that's the case, buddy, so am I. If I get my potato loaded griller, I'm back.
We're living in the same dream.
I love how they play it off as, oh no, this was just something temporary.
No, they brought him back.
Don't lie, Craig.
I've been DMing the CEO every day since they left.
Pretty sure half the world has.
Yeah. There's been a lot of people who are very excited about that news, like to the point that I'm surprised it's not even a topic on this show today.
It is. I just made it one.
Well, yeah. You made it one, but I'm just saying, like it feels like.
I mean,
we should be talking
eating
about
potatoes
that.
at Taco Bell. I mean, much rather do that than eating human beings like some actors that may have come out in the news last week or so.
So what's next? What else we got?
We're gonna move on.
We're not going to talk about weird secret Instagram. What? Oh.
Now on for our review of MGK's Downfalls High, his 45-minute short film directorial debut and screenwriting debut. So, who all watched Downfalls High here? I know. I know Taylor didn't.
No.
I know Taylor didn't. I love how Nick just dropped himself.
I didn't. Maybe I should draw because I don't have anything to contribute.
Oh, you're fine. You didn't have to drop out.
Yeah, so Matt told me to watch this last night.
I told both of them to watch it.
Yeah,
and I'm like, dude, like it's not my cup of tea. I'm not a big fan of MGK, and so I have nothing against him. I don't dislike him. I don't like him. I'm just meh. And he told me to watch this, and I said, you know what, Matt? Like I'll watch it because I love you. And then I forgot to watch it. Before the show.
So last night, Matt sent me that link. I said, okay. And then I woke up this morning to hear the news of family coming over, and I was like, oh. And I was like, I'll watch the Browns game
yesterday.
I'll watch the Browns game, and I'll do it all before that. And then I didn't. So
yeah, I was busy yesterday. I had a lot going through my brain, and it was just
for excuses' sake. What?
I see 1 and 2 valid reasons as to why not to watch it. I don't see 3.
Oh, I have no excuse.
Oh yes, because I didn't want to isn't on that list either.
I forgot. I genuinely forgot. I was at Walmart right now getting my G Fuel. Shout out to Connie G Fuel. And God.
You G'd up?
You G'd up? I can go get it. I put it in the fridge.
How many did you get?
I bought 2. But I was at Walmart getting other things alongside my G Fuel, and it was about like 5:15 my time, and I thought to myself, shit, like I forgot to watch the movie, and I wouldn't be back in time to watch it before the show starts. Yeah, that's my B. That's my bad.
It's only 45 minutes. It's like watching a TV show.
Well, Matt,
and I watched American Dad. So
Matt, pitch it to us. It's 3 guys who
talk about
pitch
please
it to us.
enlighten me.
Why should we watch it? Tell us about it.
No, hold on. So, Chris, I'm gonna get on you first because you assumed I loved this fucking thing. I thought it was okay. I say this from the only reason I wanted to cover it is because a lot of this started off with we wanted to showcase Cleveland artists. Well, MGK is a Cleveland artist, so just outing Taylor. See, but Taylor and I had a conversation last night, so that Taylor's exempt.
I don't have time for this. I gotta play Barbies. All right,
and watch a ton of movies.
I'm world building. Okay.
But for a directorial debut and his debut as a writer, it was okay. Boy, Sydney Sweeney came in and cashed a check real quick. I'll say that much. But I mean, he came out and said they made this in 4 days, and you could tell because it seemed like all of the production budget went to the music video side of stuff. And that was the stuff that sunk me in. I'm like, yo, how he pulled that stuff off, dope, great. I loved it. I was engaged. They used a fucking TikTok star or whatever, Chase Hudson. I don't know. And then, like, originally when I saw the trailer for this, I'm like, okay, cool. Sydney Sweeney, let's go. That gives me a little bit of hope because I love her in Euphoria. I loved her in Everything Sucks. She's just a nice young actress that I want to see more of. And I was like, oh wow, she just literally said, I'm gonna take this free paycheck. Because it was the most phoned in thing I had ever seen out of her.
You're not selling this to me very well. I don't want to watch it.
I'm not like here, Taylor, for you, someone who likes pop punk and all that, I know you'll love the music video side of stuff. The intercut music video stuff is great. This thing is just basically a 45-minute music video with acting bits cut inside of it.
I'll just go back and watch the What's My Age Again music video 10 times.
But I mean, like, it's predictable. Like, so they start off by telling you that this kid cut off his ear at graduation.
Oh, Van Gogh.
Yeah. But his local band's music just started blowing up right around that time. And at the same time, spoiler alert, he finds out that his girlfriend, who recently just died in a car accident, was pregnant with his child.
Damn.
I mean, I love the music side of it. It was great. I enjoyed that. The story was so overplayed and cliche, and you could see everything from a mile away.
Well, just basically some minor. It's kind of like it's a music video film, right? It's just sort of like telling the story of the album, kind of.
No, because the story of the actual album is stuff from MGK's life. This is just challenged himself with coming up with a story separate from his own that could go along with the album, and he said that.
Kind of like American Idioted it. Does that make sense?
I guess. Oh yeah, because they made the musical.
They made the musical. Yeah, it's all based around. It's all based around like his stories that he created. They wrote it themselves.
I mean, that's cool. So what? He directed it, wrote it, and I imagine he starred in it as well. Yeah. And obviously,
so he narrated it, and then he's the one. For when you see the music video bits, that's him and Travis Barker. By the way, if you guys haven't listened to this album yet, there's a reason it fucking went platinum. It's a fantastic album, and the music is what keeps you engaged the entire time because you're like, I want to see more of these music video bits of it.
I've only heard the one song off of that album, the big one, whatever the big one is.
There's like 3
Bloody
or 4
Valentine, that one. I heard that. It's all right.
The other one is Forget Me Too, and that has Halsey on it.
Okay. The other one to me just sounded like, I mean, I know he always has been a big Blink-182 fan, but it just sounded like somebody kind of doing that. I don't know. I'm also
Travis, I don't really know. Barker produces your album and drums on the entire thing, it's going to sound a little bit like Blink-182.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't really listen to that kind of music. I don't know. Pop, like, I'm not like about to get into new pop punk. You know what I'm saying?
Taylor, I think you might actually like this.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not.
It's okay. I've heard enough of it being at your house, so
yeah, that's true.
I don't have anything against MGK. I think he's a little corny sometimes, but
and I'm not just saying this because my cousin's song is on the Target exclusive copy. Love you, Timmy.
What?
I'm Timmy. That's me.
No. There's a family friend who's on the deluxe edition that's a Target exclusive. He's on songs for it. So
good job.
Yeah.
Sweet.
But I do love this album. I'm one of those people who back in high school I made fun of MGK, no lie. And then General Admission came out. I got more into him as a rapper. I normally don't do pop punk music at all. So when he slowly started making the transition, as much as people want to say, "Oh, Eminem beat him so bad," he slowly doing more and more of this genre since his second album. So or maybe even his first album. Since General Admission, actually, he had a pop punk song on there with Kid Rock.
Oh,
cool.
Yo, that song slaps. Granted, after the fact, we find out Kid Rock's a Trump supporter, but
I think it's already just bad enough to do something.
I mean, it's better than supporting Kanye.
Look, look, let me tell y'all some shit that Matt told me last night. So when Matt was pitching this thing, he had to convince me to inevitably forget about this movie. And I'm like, you know what? Like, dude, like, I don't want to do this. You made me watch the Critics' Choice Super Awards. I didn't want to do that. And I'm like, and you're gonna make me do this too? All right, cool. And he's like, he said to me, I'm paraphrasing here. He's like, this is nothing. There's been nothing like this since Michael Jackson's Thriller.
I just literally used what they used to pitch the movie when it came out. That's straight up what I did.
And I'm like, what the like Michael Jackson's Thriller?
There has been so many other music video movies that have come out.
And I mentioned Kanye West did a feature film for, or not a feature, we did a film for My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy 11 years ago. And that's like, oh, I forgot about that one. Man,
no, I didn't say I forgot about it.
You said you forgot.
I said I forced myself to forget.
Play the tape back. Play the tape back.
I forced myself to forget anything that man did.
So you forgot. Like, so
by choice.
So my man's out here like, yo, Kid Rock slaps, but he's a Trump supporter. Kanye West, I'm gonna forget him because he's a Trump supporter. It's like, come on.
Kanye West, Samuel L. Jackson from Django Unchained.
Pick a hill to die on.
No. Kanye West is Samuel L. Jackson from Django Unchained.
I'm looking at my Twisted Fantasy vinyl as we speak. Can we move on?
They're both nerds, all right?
They're both the worst. Moving on. God,
what else? Kanye West is Uncle Ruckus. Kanye West is David Chappelle, the KKK member. Moving on.
My favorite Kanye West album is My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. The movie is actually really well done.
Children, I will turn the echo feature back on this microphone if you don't.
Turn it on.
This is the best my visual has been all day. Like
It's on.
this last 40 minutes.
Turn that off.
Hello, everybody.
Whoa! No, keep it on. Keep it on.
No, turn that off.
Keep it on. The
That's
audio
a good bit.
listeners would love that.
Every time Nick has like a hot take, he needs to turn that on to announce it.
We got one more review, and then we got to get through all this news. So next up is Once Upon a Time, or One Night. Excuse me. Damn, I watched that movie Once Upon a Time rather. One Night in Miami.
Where?
You never heard the Will Smith song Miami? Party in the city with the heat is on.
I know about Big Willie style. Yeah, I got you.
Big Willie.
One Night in Miami. I'm just
Miami.
years old.
What a good movie. What a fantastic movie.
I know 3 of us watched this, or for the most part, together.
Yes.
And someone tried to watch it last night. I don't know if they fell asleep or not.
I did, but I watched the rest of it early this morning. So I watched it.
So good. And I'm not just saying that because my queen, Regina King, directed it. It's so good.
He's queen.
My queen. Love Regina King.
We stand our king and our queen.
Nick's the king?
Nick, no, Regina's the king and the queen.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit! I didn't even.
Oh,
think
because
about
he's
that.
Regina. Oh, I see.
Thank you.
right. Good work, guys.
Thank you.
Great
So
work.
we all watched this movie.
Yeah, we did.
Hell yeah! What do we
It
all?
may be my favorite movie of 2021 so far.
Well, this probably is the first 2021 movie I've watched this year, unless I'm thinking of I'm missing an obvious example. I think this is the first new movie I watched this year. Right? This came out like really recently, right?
I watched this
came out
this year.
Friday.
Does this count?
Okay.
This is new to me.
Yeah, that counts.
You
Totally
you
counts.
you had a reason to watch that I will not expose on this podcast.
Yes.
Expose
Anyway.
makes it sound bad, which it is.
What happened to you? You okay?
What? I'm
Yeah,
okay.
he's fine.
Yes. So I love that movie, One Night in Miami. It's so good. So good. The performances are fantastic. Matt and I had a conversation about it, like who do you pick as like your best actor or your best actress and all that. Best actress, what do I think? Who do you pick as your like best actor, best supporting from that type of movie?
Sure.
But yeah, I really did enjoy this movie. I love the song at the end.
Yeah, it was a great way to finish it off, especially because it was Leslie Odom Jr. My God.
Yeah.
Who Nick just recently got on the train of after watching Hamilton this summer.
Yes. And I recently watched Hamilton again and was like, yeah, I get it.
And it's got our Hawkman in it. And we
Yes.
love to see our Hawkman.
As Cleveland Brown, greatest player of all time, Jim Brown.
I thought you were about to say as Cleveland Brown. I was very confused for a second.
Our Cleveland Brown.
He's like walks in there. He's like, "Oh gosh, I can't even mount to run the football." It's just like, yeah, like, my favorite Cleveland Brown. But yes, no, greatest Cleveland Brown running back of all time. I'm sure that we've already discussed the heartbreaking game that was on TV, and I'm sure we don't want
No,
to talk
I
about
didn't
it.
even bring it up, and I didn't want to.
Well, anyways, what a season. But yes, Cleveland Brown, Jim Brown, we love him. I just, I just love everything about this movie. I love the performances. I am a huge fan of very grounded films, and this just felt that way to me, where it was basically taking place inside of the hotel room the entire time. I could go on and on and on and on and on about how much I enjoyed this. So I'll
We
let
could
somebody
go on
else
and on. We could
talk
go on
after
and
my
on.
Cleveland Brown impression.
We do have a podcast. We could go on and on.
I could go on and on. I don't want it to be all about Nick just praising Regina King for 2 hours.
Yo,
should
Shug, what's up, my man?
What's good, Shug?
It should be all about Nick. I would love, Nick, if you started a For Chris's Sake-esque podcast called All About Nick. I think that would be really good. I did like this movie a lot. I like this movie a lot. When I was watching it, in the midst of it, I kept thinking, man, this reminds me a lot of like a stage play. It turns out it's adapted from a stage play.
Yeah.
Which I'm not very well read on theater and stage shows and things like that. So I don't know if this was a very well known a performance or script. And maybe, I don't know if people were, asking for this to get adapted for a while, but I think what a smart choice for somebody like Regina King, who is a new director. I think is this her second feature? She directed something else, didn't she?
It's her first.
No, this is her first. This was her debut.
Wow. Damn.
Right.
Damn, Regina.
Right.
But smart. But so to that point, very smart. Very smart to pick a movie like this that isn't going to get caught up in complicated cinematography and shot techniques, and let's just tell a story that relies on strong performances and good writing, because that's what this is, and that's what it is. Yeah. But almost one setting for, I'd say about 75% of the film is all within a hotel room across a hotel complex, and you just bring 4 great actors in, playing these, these historical titans,
figures.
These larger than life
figures.
Yeah. And just so at first, I also didn't really know until I sat down to watch this. I didn't really have a super solidified idea of what it was about. I knew it was I thought it was like a biopic. I knew it had something to do with Malcolm X, but I didn't know for sure what it was about. So first I was like, wait, these guys hung out? This happened? I guess it didn't happen. This was
buddies.
No, this happened.
Yeah, this actually happened.
This happened.
I had seen someone that was saying this was like a fictionalized sort of theoretical, it was built around, obviously, non-fictional events and real people, but it was like a fictionalized story
it's fictionalized in the sense of we don't know everything that's been said.
We knew what they were like going in. We knew what they were like leaving that night. So
okay.
Connect the pieces.
And we knew that their relationships were what they were.
Got it. Okay. Super fascinating to me. That's amazing. Imagine those 4 dudes had a podcast. That'd be incredible. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Like I said, this is, I think, the first 2021 movie I've watched, and I can't think of anything I'm missing. Not that there's much to miss at this point. We're only a couple days into this thing. But there's
2 weeks into the year.
Yeah, this sets a great bar for the year. I'm very excited. The first new movie I watched was a great movie. Because this was a great movie. I'll expect to it probably will be one of the best I've seen by the end of this year. And wow, amazing Regina King. Holy shit.
My standout was Eli Goree as Cassius or Muhammad Ali, whichever you'd prefer to call him.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because and Chris and I talked about this when we were watching this. We watched him on Riverdale. And
holy crap. Sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that.
You're even on Riverdale, he acted circles around everyone. So I'm like, okay, this kid's destined for more. And then I see that he's playing Muhammad Ali in this movie, and he hit the cadence as well of how Ali would speak, and just the tone of voice, and he has that presence to pull it off. Granted, Kingsley. I want to say it's Kingsley Ben-Adir. Yeah, Kingsley Ben-Adir was great as Malcolm X.
Yes, so good.
Yeah.
But man, this was the film. And Chris, I know we talked about it. This is a film where you didn't know if you loved Malcolm or you hated Malcolm.
But that was great.
Mad Dog. Sorry, I just needed to.
That's the nuance of that is really, really, I thought really well executed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you see what was his name again, Matt? I don't want to mess up.
Kingsley Ben-Adir.
Thank you, Kingsley Ben-Adir. When he like him portraying Malcolm X, I think I told Matt this when we were watching it. Like he did such a good job that I'm like, damn, yeah. I don't know whether to root for him or whether to be against him, but that's how Malcolm was in real life.
Right.
Like he was so divisive by the words that he was saying, and yeah.
You know what else your boy was in recently?
High Fidelity.
Yes, sir.
I watched High Fidelity like 2 weeks ago. I binged it in 2 days, and I was crying and shit. But he was so good in that too. Like this, I want to see all these people in more things. Like every single one of them. Whether it's Eli Goree, like I love him in Riverdale. Like he was great. But holy hell, he was so good as Cassius Clay.
I didn't even recognize him as that role. I mean, like it's such two completely.
He nailed the voice.
Yeah,
like,
How
Because
he
Cassius had a presence to
yeah.
him, and he did. Like all these men had a presence.
Delivering the metaphors was like really what sold me.
Yes, like Eli Gorey was so freaking good in this thing. Kingsley Ben-Adir again, like he was probably my favorite performance of the thing. If I'm being honest,
mine too.
Like he was like, but Eli's right there. But I'm not even gonna try to diss Aldous Hodge and Leslie Odom Jr.
The only reason I couldn't, Kingsley was great. Malcolm X is still fresh in my mind, and that's part of the reason why.
No, you were comparing him to Denzel still.
Mm-hmm.
See, and I was talking to someone yesterday, and she was telling me that she thought of Denzel, and I'm like, I totally get it, like because we were talking about this film and how great it is, and she mentioned how like I couldn't get Denzel out of my brain, so I totally understand that POV, but I thought Kingsley Ben-Adir did something different, like I thought like he somehow made something different about a character, about a person. Who's already like he's already out there. You can go find his tape. You know,
his job was to more so human. I will say this: his version of Malcolm X was to more so humanize Malcolm, and
it worked.
Yes.
And it worked.
Denzel's was not that. Denzel's was Malcolm. Accept it. Like, granted, I also love Kingsley Ben-Adir in a very guilty pleasure of mine that I think is underrated. King Arthur: Legend of the Sword is Wet Stick.
Holy crap!
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Wow. But no, like, and just so we can show love to Leslie Odom Jr. a little bit more and Aldous Hodge, our Hawkman. Like they were, I mean, Leslie Odom Jr.
Opening scene for Aldous Hodge. That opening scene. You and I were in the room. I know Nick missed it because he wasn't over yet. But Chris, our jaws dropped and we turned and stared at each other with that opening scene with Bo Bridges.
Oh my God! Yeah. Like Aldous Hodge. I mean, he played the second best running back of all time, Jim Brown. And he was so because Jim Brown was a and he was obviously a notable figure. That's why this character is so prominent in this one. And all these men carried a certain they had to carry something on their back, whether it was like politically, religion, like some type of religion or popularity and like some type of platform. They all were standing on top of a platform, and that's why they were all so close. Because they all shared that. And the moments that they had, every character had a moment with another character that just was fantastic. And they all were so well written and they're perfectly acted. Regina King did such a kick-ass job directing this freaking movie. I asked Matt the second the movie ended, I'm like, is this 2020? Because if this was 2020, that in Palm Springs would be like this, you know? And he's like, 2021. I'm like, all right, like, good luck, 2021. Good luck.
We literally just got it 2 weeks before.
Yeah, it's like good luck topping this thing because this movie is so freaking good. And the fact, and like what Nick and Taylor were talking about, like it's so contained. Yeah, they go to other places. You have to set up the story about how they all got to Miami, but it was so well done and it's character driven. Yeah. And some of my favorite movies of all time are character driven. Yeah. Like the plot means shit. You can put these four characters and these four actors in a different setting, and I'd still watch the shit out of it. Because they all did so well with them. Aldous Hodge, we're about to see him and so many more things. We're about to see Leslie Odom Jr. blow up.
Saw him in Invisible Man already. That was
exactly.
Coming out,
but he's gonna hit the ground running, especially with Hawkman. Like he's gonna do so many cool things. Leslie Odom Jr. has already been out there. He would do more. He was gonna do more shit. Eli Gorey and Kingsley Ben-Adir, they're gonna be the ones to truly break out of this thing and get so much more work because they're the standouts. And to answer your question, Nick, that started this conversation, best actor, I think Gorey was the lead. If I had to pick a lead, to me it's Cassius.
First build is Kingsley Ben-Adir.
Okay, so yes, nominate the shit out of him, and then Eli Gorey supporting.
I think that's probably going to be the route they go. That's why I was having that conversation with you, Matt. Was just kind of because I was like, there's so many good, strong performances in this, and we've seen. You know, and that's my thing with like it's so tough to nominate more than one person from a movie. I've seen it happen with like The Favorite and stuff like that, where I thought Regina King should have. Obviously, it's me. I'm a Regina King stan. But like I thought that she should have won it for Beale Street because I love Beale Street. That said, Emma Stone and
Rachel Weisz
were fantastic in that movie. Yet they split the vote.
Right.
in my opinion.
No, that's exactly what happened.
Well, no,
They're
they
both
were
written
in
in
different
favor, too.
categories, if I remember correctly.
No, they were both nominated
No.
for supporting because the best actress
Olivia Colman was
Olivia Colman.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what Nick said is why I don't want more than one actor being nominated in the same category for this, because they have I don't want to call our shot a year in advance.
Here's my issue. It's an even balance. They're not one character is not more important than the other.
Totally. But so you're gonna pitch them all for lead actor. I want them to win.
You have to pitch 2 for lead and 2 for supporting. That's realistically what you have to do.
And all 4 are going to get nominated because they're that good. Maybe not Leslie Odom Jr. Although
Aldous Hodge would be the one I'd say won't get nominated.
What I would say.
Like that's a better question. Who had the weakest performance?
I don't want to get into that
because they're not bad. None of them are bad.
Look at who had the smallest impact on the film, and to me, that was Jim Brown.
I think the script is also asking less of that character in the film too.
Yeah. In fact, the actual playwright wrote the screenplay also. So
nice.
Okay.
Yeah. And I touched on earlier. By the way, you guys are talking about awards. I can never, especially this year, I can't figure out. Is this something that because of when it's released?
They're having to like late February, early March to get nominated for the Oscars this year.
So we could be talking about this movie again in a couple of weeks.
April, end of March, early April. Yeah,
there it is. Yeah, and they might because the kind of
they will. I'm calling my shot now.
They better.
Will. Sorry. I would agree they will because I feel like the kind of films that get.
This is Best Picture, bro. I'm not saying it will win, but this is Best Picture quality.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was smart to drop this now because again, getting that sort of prestige film, it's also something that we haven't had a lot in the last year in terms of like the kind of films that get that sort of recognition and get that prestigious honor and things like that. I feel like a lot of those did get kind of swept away because people were scared to release them. Studios were scared to release them. So I wouldn't be surprised if we are talking about this in the awards context in a month or two for sure. Because I dug it a lot. And like I was saying earlier, I really admired kind of the nuance of it where it wasn't, hey, this guy's right and these guys are wrong. Or it was like, this is a difficult conversation for everybody to have. They all have their own experiences in life. They all have their own viewpoints and they're clashing and they're also finding similarities throughout. Like it wasn't, I just love that it was taking complicated looks at real people and really trying to honestly depict what it might look like for those 4 to have a conversation and not just take the easy route of like, well, here's 4 amazing people. They're all friends. They had a really cool time. The end. It's like, no, they really, it's not that easy. No. I just loved how it really depicted them as 4 different, complicated, real people and figuring out what that interaction would be like. I thought it was really, really well done.
Yeah. And to your point, Taylor, throughout the movie where the conflicts would come up, like whether it was between Malcolm and Sam or Cassius and Jim, in regards to different topics in their lives, there was, and I'm going to emphasize what you just said, there was no correct way of going about it because they all went separate. They all tackled their own issue separately. And I mean, we saw how
it was all the same issue at the same time.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's 4 black men on a platform and how they're going to help people that look just like them.
Yeah.
And it, as unfortunate as it is, like Malcolm didn't live too long after this night. Neither did Sam Cooke. Like Cassius and Jim Brown, they're the only ones that really made it out of that month, let alone that year, So the fact that we got to see all in together one last time. This is their last time, presumably, together, the 4 of them. And this is how it panned out. So I was so enthralled in this movie. I loved it so much. And I wanted to win all the awards. Will it? I don't know. It's a black movie at the Oscars. We'll see how that pans out. Should it? Yes, 1,000%.
Yeah. I will say my only gripe, and this was as a Clevelander, is the last thing we see of Jim Brown is when fucking Art Modell got him to retire for being a dickhead. Sorry.
Yes. Big moment. Big moment.
But I get why, because that was him taking a stand against the man. Still hurt being from Cleveland.
Maybe you'll get your full Jim Brown biopic before long. Or does that already exist? I don't know.
No, Ernie Davis exists and Jim Brown sprinkled throughout. I don't know if we'll ever get a Jim Brown biopic, just because it's not like he had outside of like what we see in this, it's not like he had a ton of news and buzz around him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was just the greatest running back of all time. But yeah.
I just would like to also like, not only did they deliver on the performances for this movie, but every single person looked exactly like the person.
Yeah.
Not
like
all
that.
Aldis did not look like Jimmy, but that's.
Oh, I was just looking at a picture. I thought that.
I thought they were fine.
Pretty accurate. But
the rest of them, yeah, I just couldn't agree. I can't agree with Jim.
I love Aldis Hodge. I can't wait for him to do more stuff.
Yeah, and you know what? Aldis Hodge was the only actor I was really familiar with going. I still haven't watched the Hamilton movie. Okay, so I haven't really seen Leslie Odom Jr. That's what I expected Matt to do. So thank you, Chris.
What? You haven't seen Hamilton?
I expected that. So
yeah. So Aldis Hodge is really the only actor I was familiar with going into this. So now I've got like 3 incredible new actors that I get to look forward to and other stuff coming out of this as well.
Yeah.
I would hope they do.
Go watch some Riverdale, Taylor.
Taylor, don't watch Riverdale.
That's never going to happen. You know that.
No, it's a riveting it's a riveting murder thriller.
You were gonna say horror. Get out
Stop.
of here.
It could be great, Matt. You just know I'm never going to do that. Sorry.
They'll watch that when I watch The Mandalorian.
I got to go play with
Watch
Barbie.
The Mandalorian.
I've watched 2 episodes of The Mandalorian. I feel like
I'll watch Riverdale when I'm done playing with Barbies. Spoiler, I'm never done playing with Barbies.
hell yeah, brother.
yeah, Bubba.
Yeah, love the film. Anything else we want to say about it?
Yeah, I was about to say that's it for our 3 reviews. That took up the first hour of the show. We still got a lot to cover. So this
Hey.
That was one roundup of reviews.
yeah.
That was one hell of a roundup. Let's do it.
Well, first thing you got is Netflix is releasing a new film every week. That's right, a new film every week. Movies. Some real promising ones in there, some that you'll see on our most anticipated list later on, so we won't go into total details on them. But guys, how do you feel about Netflix's output?
Great.
Felt like they were doing that every week already, so they just put a title to it.
Yeah. That's true. I don't know how much of a distinction this is against their regular output. Anyway, I mean, look, we all know the score. Not every single one of these is going to be something we probably care to watch. No. Okay, the output, great, but quality and quantity are 2 different kinds of conversations. But if like once every 5 to 6 weeks they put out something I think is cool, that's still quite a few movies for me to watch. So
I forgot to put it on my list for later, spoiler alert, but Don't Look Up's on there, and I keep forgetting about that movie. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
No, and it's come. I think it's coming out later this year.
Yeah. Don't Look Up.
Yeah, Don't Look Up. And the fact
I thought that was one of the sooner releases.
Well, I think they just got done shooting. I know Kid Cudi did.
Either way, Adam McKay, Leonardo DiCaprio, just give me it right now. Like, I completely forgot about that movie from my anticipated list, and I'm kind of biting myself in the ass about it.
The fact that Netflix, I cannot agree anymore with Taylor. Like some movies are going to be duds. They're going to be duds, and they're also wrapping up certain franchises like To All the Boys and The Kissing Booth franchises.
Finally, we didn't need any more of those things.
But they're closing out with 3 apiece. A guilty pleasure for me are those damn To All the Boys movies. I
had to see the last one in theaters. I thoroughly enjoyed the first one. Not even gonna lie, because when I got the press invite for the second one, I'm like, I gotta be a professional. I'll go see it, but let me watch the first one. I literally watched it right before my screening, and I went to see the new one. I'm like, yo, that first one was good. This one, I have hopes now, and I was severely let down.
I don't even want to talk about the second one because I will get mad.
So you didn't like it either?
No. Not at all. But I'm a sucker for those type of movies, and I haven't seen The Kissing Booth, so I can't comment on that. But the fact that they're not only emphasizing those and these bigger ones like Red Notice, Don't Look Up, whatever the hell else, I'm blank off the top of my head.
The one about the all black cowboy film with Jonathan Majors.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me some black cowboys. I'm all about that black western. I don't know the title of it off the top of my dome, but the fact that Netflix is flexing at the beginning of the year, hey, you see what HBO Max is doing? You see what Disney Plus is about to do? Come stay with us because this is what we got. And they regurgitated all their content. Just their movies. Not even just their TV, not even their TV shows either. So big flex by Netflix to do it. Are they all going to be good? Hell no. Are they going to be noteworthy? Hell no. But they flexed the ones that mattered. At least the ones that they're going to flex to us are faces Malcolm and Marie, Don't Look Up, freaking we just said it to all the boys, that western that's coming out with Idris Elba and Regina King. Like there's gonna be some standouts throughout the year. So when the year ends, maybe we can revisit this conversation and talk about those movies. But I'm really excited and Red Notice. I'm really jazzed for Red Notice. So hell yeah, 52 movies in a year, impressive.
There's no real losers in this, right? You know, like
no,
cool, more content.
People are getting work.
Yeah,
we're getting movies this year. Like last year, we got we got a fraction of what we usually get, and Netflix is like, you know what, we'll double down and give you some good shit. So I'm stoked.
Good shit. Let's hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah. The only
there are more Netflix duds than there are Netflix greats.
Touche.
Sure, and that's again because of how consistently they put stuff out already. Mm-hmm. Even when they're not making some crazy promise of 52 movies in a year. The only potential consequence, I guess, I could see, and it doesn't really reflect on the audience, us too much, but like it's going to be really hard to probably stand out amongst that because it's going to be like, here's a new movie. Right. All right, 7 days later, now there's a movie with Dwayne Johnson in it. Now there's a new franchise movie.
They're going to push for awards at the end of the year.
Yeah, I think a lot of stuff's going to get lost in the shuffle here, which already happens. Like, freaking David Fincher put a movie out on Netflix a couple weeks ago, and like we're already done thinking about that, right?
Right. Yep.
I gotta see that Mank. That was the other one.
That's the point. It came and it went like a fart in the wind.
Mank.
That's not what I'm saying. It's bad. I haven't got to watch it. I'm just talking.
Mank's a fart. Matt Thomas, 2021. He said it.
I haven't watched it yet.
Mank's a fart.
It's just one of those things. Like it just came and went so quickly, we forgot about it.
Yeah.
Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, another one that came so quick.
And that movie got no love outside of people like us that watch movies like all the time. Like I don't see casual people like, yo, did you see Ma Rainey's Black Bottom? Like no one's saying, and that's just to your point. Netflix doesn't know how to properly promote their movies unless The Rock's on the poster.
Nope. Hell, they didn't know how to they wouldn't have been able to properly promote Cobra Kai if it weren't for the fact Cobra Kai had built up this following from YouTube Live. I'm just going to be flat out honest.
No, they had a cult following like a mofo, 1,000%. Like it was hard to not hear about Cobra Kai, and like now, like I'm super late to the party. I'm like, I see why. Like I can totally see it.
OG bandwagon, let's go.
It's the difference between streaming and theatrical, though, because if Ma Rainey's Black Bottom and like Mank and those movies, if they were playing in the theater and they had that
in the theater before they dropped on
you know
Netflix.
What I mean. What I mean.
I know what you mean, but that's my point. Like Netflix is like, oh, we'll give it to you a couple weeks early in the theater, and because we're in the middle of a pandemic. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Are you fucking crazy?
That's what I mean. I'm saying like pure theatrical release versus streaming is that those movies stick around and it becomes more communal. People go together. You catch up with your friends who saw it. You would think it'd be easier to achieve that when you're watching it from home because it's like, hey, everybody went home after work and watched the movie. But it's just like, which movie? You turn it on and there's 400 movies to watch. So it's like I don't have to watch Mank. I could watch whatever other movie I've seen 10 times and I love it so much and I want to watch it again. Where it's just different from going to the theater. And that's taking, just the quality of going to the theater aside of the screen and the sound and everything. But I mean, again, there's no real losers in this. That's my only concern is that great movies might get lost in the shuffle. But it'll be up to us valiant podcasters to carry the torch and say, watch this and watch that and talk about these movies before they get forgotten forever because a new Shark Boy Lava Girl movie came out.
Damn, we can be heroes
for a sequel.
Yeah, Pedro, get more work, Bubba.
Hell yeah, I've not watched it, but by all accounts, the kids love it, so it's working.
I gotta see that. That's on my list too.
All right, moving on. Another streaming movie that we're getting. We got a trailer for it this week. Cherry, the Cleveland-made Tom Holland film.
All right, look here. Let me just get this out of the way. This is I didn't put it on my list later. Spoiler alert, because it's coming out like next month. But sure. Oh my god. Like Tom Holland, right? He's been in other things since he's been Spider-Man, right? This is gonna shut everybody up about Tom Holland only being Spider-Man, in my opinion, right? Because we saw in this trailer, they gave us story beats. They're gonna tell us this movie will be told through Tom Holland's character's perspective and how PTSD can affect people and how people go about it, especially this character. I can't tell you his name, but it's the Russo brothers post Endgame, and it's Tom Holland. He's still Spider-Man. This movie's gonna get a ton of love. I think Apple TV is like but the fact it's getting a little like a select theater release, I really want to see this thing. This looks fantastic, and it looks like Tom Holland like I haven't seen Tom Holland like this. I don't know if y'all have, but this looks so. This is going to be like a career defining performance for Tom Holland. Like to me, because to me he's still Spider-Man. Yeah, and that's like he's obviously been in other things, but he's still Spider-Man. And I hope this breaks him out of that. Like he's not just Spider-Man. He can do things like this. Have you seen Cherry? Because he is freaking phenomenal in Cherry. Right. And this is going to be real. It's going to be gruesome. It's this dark drama about how people handle PTSD.
I mean, he did a dark drama just a few months ago, and people still haven't broken out of it. That Spider-Man.
Devil all the time. Devil all the time.
Devil all the time.
Another Netflix release that got
came and went.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So I think Cherry will hopefully break that. And I completely forgot about Devil All the Time. That's a great point.
Right?
But still, like that, this trailer is phenomenal. And this movie is going to be so dope. I can't wait to see it. The only reason I didn't put it on my most anticipated was I'm like, you know what? It comes out in 2 weeks. I don't want to hype it up too much, especially since I knew we're probably going to talk about it on the show today. So my other choices were stuff coming out hopefully later. Hopefully they still come out this year. So Cherry looks dope. Love this thing. It's already my favorite movie of this year.
Holy shit. I am I'm very excited for it. You know, the Cleveland of it all notwithstanding. And obviously I am excited for Tom Holland because I do think he's a great actor. We did see him do something different in Devil All the Time, so we know he can get out of that blockbuster tentpole film leading role. He can do something a little more nuanced. I'm also just excited to see what does it look like when the Russo brothers aren't making a Marvel film. Obviously, they messed around in TV and the rom-com world and things like that before leading the biggest franchise in film history
and making the largest grossing film of all time.
Exactly. So and even still, I don't know if it'd be fair to say those are Russo brother movies because there's so many moving parts to them. So now we get to see coming out of that, what does it look like to see like the Russo brothers auteur film? Like, what is it like to see their actual directing? What's their voice
flex
like?
them muscles.
Yeah. What is it like when they're not having to build a universe and have all this pressure? Like when they get to actually kind of slow it down and tell a story and just think about what they're doing. I think that part of it's almost not getting that much attention because now these guys have the avenue to be put in that spot that not a lot of people get, that Spielberg spot, that James Cameron spot, that I guess like that Christopher Nolan spot, that just those household director names where it's like these are guys who can get any project made, any project they want. So like I'm like, what are they going to want to make? And it's interesting that they went with this small, like quasi nonfiction adaptation of a book that takes place in their hometown. Like very interesting, very different. So that's also, I'm just excited to see what does a true Russo brothers film actually look like coming out of Marvel.
I mean, you talk about their clout. Fun fact, this almost didn't get made in Cleveland, even though the story takes place in Cleveland. It was their clout of saying, no, we want to film in Cleveland, get the deal done, that got it filmed in Cleveland.
Right. And that's it. They're those blank check directors now. And it's like they're gonna have a lot of Book of Henrys before that goes away, you know what I mean? So I'm excited to see.
I almost bought that on Blu-ray a couple days ago.
You should watch it. It's fun to watch. I mean,
fun to watch to troll it.
It's an experience. It's like a scary roller coaster you can go on. Like it's visceral.
I like roller coasters.
Yeah, no. So this looks good, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I also kind of forgot that it's coming so soon. So I can't wait to talk about it further once we all seen it.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on. We got some footage from HBO Max's rollout, which may or may not have confirmed that Dune is still going to drop on HBO Max, because we found out Godzilla vs. Kong is moving up. We got our first look at Space Jam, which I was shocked to see that we're getting a 3D animation Bugs Bunny. That's the thing that threw me for a loop.
Oh yeah, wow.
But guys, how are you feeling after seeing this latest HBO Max spot?
How you feeling about it, Nick?
Last segment I plead the fifth anyways. It doesn't even matter if I didn't get to talk. But no, I'm really excited. I mean, this kind of felt like that Netflix drop at the same time, except obviously they weren't going to be doing it every single day of the week. Not every single day of the week, every single week. Yeah, the Space Jam stuff got me hyped. I can't wait to see a trailer. I think that maybe we thought that Bugs Bunny was 3D animated, and maybe he's not. I kind of really am hoping that that's the case, because
see, in the second shot, they all look 3D animated.
There's no point in doing 3D animation for this movie. Just saying. I mean, I feel like the point of the Looney Tunes being in a movie is that they're all 2D animated. It happened in Back in Action. It happened in Space Jam. I just hope, whether it is or whether it's not, I don't know. I'm not going to go too far into it until I've actually seen a trailer for it. But there's plenty of stuff that I'm excited for. Plenty of stuff that I knew we were getting. Their trailer drop was more or less just things that we knew we were supposed to get in theaters and we're not getting in theaters, as opposed to, the Netflix, where these are all movies that were bought by Netflix. A lot of them. That's something that was never brought up in the Netflix thing, is that, like, them doing 52 movies in a year probably means that they were at some of these film festivals buying movies from independent creators. And I'm really excited about the idea of that. The HBO Max thing, like I said, it just kind of felt like they were spitting out a bunch of films that we already knew were coming out. I like to imagine that there's going to be a diamond in the rough for me out of this Netflix deal, of something that I wouldn't have wanted to watch, that maybe the idea of maybe it being from that film festival obviously gets me there. But no, I'm excited. I know that we got a couple of stills from Mortal Kombat in there. I know that, like, Space Jam obviously is something that I'm way more excited for than I should be. But yeah, just I'm excited for these. I will obviously watch every single film that's thrown my way. So let's hope for the best.
I think that is the difference between this and the Netflix one, is like, I'll watch all these movies. Definitely not going to watch all the Netflix ones because I just don't have the time. I can't do that. I'll definitely watch all these movies. I thought it served. Obviously, we knew about all this. We knew all these were coming to HBO. It's not like it was a surprise, but I think it was a good reminder of what quality bar we're dealing with here. It was like, hey, these movies are coming to HBO and they're going to fucking rock. Look at them. Look at them real quickly, but look at them. And it was like just cool to get another quick sneak peek at the Suicide Squad, right? Like,
yes.
There's a big one. Got our first shot at Malignant, the new James Wan horror flick. It's
the little things.
And yeah, they're just getting some different stuff. Got a quick little glimpse at the new Conjuring. So like just little brief sneak peeks at things. We all knew they're coming to HBO. And then the big announcement of it, is that Kong and Godzilla is getting bumped to March. That's big. We gotta be getting a proper trailer for that thing real soon. We don't have much longer, unless now they're just like forego trailers. We don't have to make you interested in it because it's just gonna be in your living room. So like you're gonna be there and you're gonna watch it. You know,
Chris,
I don't
we're
know.
getting some feedback from you.
We were getting some crunchy noises, but they seem to run away.
Whenever we're talking, we're getting some crunchy noises.
I don't hear any. I don't hear any crunchies now. I think we're okay. Oh, there was a crunchy. I don't know. No, I don't hear any. In any case, yeah, the Godzilla Kong thing. I'm excited because sweet, I get to watch that movie even sooner. At the same time, I kind of liked where it was in the release calendar of May. Because, like, even hypothetically, if we're not in a place where, like, theaters are moving again by May, and who knows? I honestly don't even know at this point. By May, but I would have loved to have seen that movie in a drive-in. Would have killed in a drive-in for me. So, you know, Kaiju's is not one to see for the first time in your living room. It just does not lend itself to the small screen in many ways. But at the same time, like, I'll be watching that day one. You can at least bet on that. So, yeah, this is cool. I mean, it got me excited for everything that we knew was coming, but it looks great. So it got me more excited for it.
All right, y'all. Look, them pictures, bro. That's pretty dope. I'm not even in front, right? Like, I love Godzilla, the 2014 one. The Skull Island was a lot of fun, and King of Monsters was all right. It was fun. The action sequences are why I went, and I like those. Those are pretty dope. So watching the still of like Kong be like, what? Like it was dope to see, dude. Like I'm so stoked for this. I couldn't agree anymore with Taylor because like, why isn't this a summer release? Like yeah, it's spring and you want to get out of that cluttered summer. Like it's cluttered. This summer is going to be the worst for movies. For us, we're gonna be like, yeah, everything. But for movies, we're gonna be competing against each other a lot.
You want to know why? Because they need something to keep people subscribed to HBO Max.
I mean, that too. But I mean, it's like Kong. I think you're doing more of a disservice to that, and you're throwing that. It's like, hey, just throw Kong, Godzilla. That movie should be like freaking huge.
Yeah,
like that, and not even just like because the characters are huge, but like this is a fight between two of the most noticeable kaijus in history, or the most notable kaijus in history, and this is how you're doing it. Yeah, they've done it before where you had men in suits like do this, but they're throwing hundreds of millions of dollars at this thing. And HBO's like, yeah, March. That's 2 months. That's 2 months.
March is based. Here's the thing: you have to remember, it's at the end of March, which has basically become the unofficial start of the summer movie season.
It's 2 months. Like
it doesn't matter. That's basically when it's the truth, the sad truth. But the end of March is when the summer movie season starts right now.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Matt. Please. So my thing is with Godzilla Kong. It's March. I'm gonna see it regardless. This shit could come out tomorrow. It's like, all right, cool. Like I'm still gonna see the bitch. Like I'm just saying, like, yo, for the movie's sake, it should have been in the summer. I totally get why they're putting it on HBO Max in March. I totally understand. And in regards to everything else, Nick, you nailed it right in the head. 3D freaking animated bugs. Come on. Come on now. Come on. I'm still super stoked to see this damn movie.
Yes.
Like, to me, it's the voices. As long as you nail the voices, like, that's, like, I'll get over the animation. I will. I'll get over the fact that they're 3D. They should be 2D. I know you want to appease to all the kids now because they're so used to 3D animation. This ain't for them.
Well, for us. I do want to say the lighting on this shot is freaking impeccable.
It's fantastic. That's a great shot. It's almost as if they just took that picture just for the sake of taking that one photo. Like, and it looks incredible. And I cannot wait to see a basketball player give a shit about doing a movie, especially with Looney Tunes. Like, I can't wait. Like, I genuinely cannot wait to see LeBron actually try and be a decent actor. Like how we've seen him before. He's all right. Like, LeBron's all right. He's not fucking.
Yeah, the GOAT finally gets to play at the tunes. I love it.
What happened?
The GOAT finally gets to play at the tunes. I love it.
I mean, he already did. So what I'm saying is that, like, with this Looney Tunes movie, like this, I don't like the 3D animation, but I'll get over it with the voices. Once I hear them, I will feel like I can buy into that. But as of right now, to me, Bugs doesn't seem like Bugs. It doesn't look like him. But this little sizzle reel, I'll call it, with all their movies coming out this year. Mortal Kombat, yes. Yes, we're gonna see some fatalities. This is gonna be rated R. It's gonna be gruesome. It's gonna be disgusting, and I'm gonna be like, ugh, watching this thing, and I can't wait to do that. The Suicide Squad. Taylor, you mentioned that one little new bit that we got, and it's like it just Alba standing next to John Cena, and I'm over here like, yeah.
Tom and
Yeah.
Jerry, by the way. Wait.
Tom and Jerry's another one we got to see that I probably will see out of curiosity, because thank God they're not talking. At least as far as we know, they're not talking. So this sizzle reel was fun, and it was just to showcase what we already knew, that all their theatrical releases will also go to HBO Max the same day, and I will get more into movies I'm looking forward to in it from HBO Max later when we talk about movies and stuff.
Yeah, sure. All right. Moving on. Clerks 3, the first draft is officially finished. Kevin Smith tweeted out, I started writing Clerks 3 on December 28th and just finished the 101-page first draft. But the writing doesn't begin when you start tapping the keys. I've been stirring the stew in my brain for a while now. So when I sat down to put years of daydreaming into actual words, the typing part of the writing process was pretty brisk. Fake New Jersey, or whatever I've long called the View Askew universe, has been so much more preferable to visit than the real world lately. But I've told the tale I wanted to tell, so it's time to step back, hand the script off to a trusted few, and then tinker further based on the feedback. For those keeping score anymore, this will be Clerks 3 version 2. Yeah, so
it took me a second to realize you were reading off of that. I thought you were like going nuts, like talking about Clerks. I'm like, oh wow, man.
Nick, how do you feel?
If he would like for me to be one of those trusted 3 people to read the script for him, I will definitely do it. I am so excited about this movie. You don't need to know me to know that Clerks is is my favorite movie of all time. So I hope that it goes back to those roots and not Clerks 2. But I am so excited about this film. Go on.
My only question is, what about Mallrats 2? What's going on, man?
The issue with that is he's gone on record saying Stan Lee had a large part in that. So he's been trying to rework it. 2, he doesn't completely own the rights to every character, so he's got to do some work around for it and try to get some stuff back. So that's a multi-level thing going on there.
And I guess reasonably, probably didn't end up going out to shoot anything, so he's been staying home. So he's like, well, shit, I guess I may as well write Clerks 3 while I'm here.
And he had said Clerks 3 will be the next project. So,
woo! And then my next question is, what about Moose Jaws? That's right, Matt. Matt is stunned by that I would even bring up Moose Jaws.
Because he originally was killing off Jay and Silent Bob, and he no longer plans on doing that. That is also being rewritten and put on the back burner.
Damn it! That's my most anticipated from Kevin Smith right now is some Moose Jaws. But I'm excited for Clerks 3, and just as long as he gets to actually make it, because I love Kevin Smith, but I said it before, he just has a tendency to kind of spill the deets a little early sometimes, and then we never get to see the awesome thing that we're excited for. So I hope we see this. I hope whatever has to happen happens, and we get to see Clerks 3 because I'm excited to see it. Because I like Jay and Silent Bob reboot. I was just excited to see it.
I really love that. That is one criminally underrated film of his.
Yeah, I like seeing him getting back in his sort of toy box. We did a whole Kevin Smith episode, and it's like, yep. I also want to see him experiment and get out of his comfort zone, but it was very, like, I guess to me it was comforting to see Jay and Silent Bob reboot and see those characters again and see him just kind of play in the world that he created. So I hope it actually happens. That's my hope and dream for Clerks 3. But awesome.
All right. Chris, any thoughts?
Still muted.
You're muted, buddy.
Oh.
I was muted. Yeah, I was muted when Nick started talking. What's it called? Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. So no, I really don't have too many thoughts on this. Solely because I I need to see more than the script to get excited for a Kevin Smith project. Like I didn't get too jazzed for Reboot until I found out I had the opportunity to see it, because he was going around screening the thing. I'm like, oh, I'm probably never going to see this thing, and then it was put on Prime. I'm like, yo, yeah, and I loved it. It was so much fun. And Kevin Smith tends to, and I think he's talked about this openly. He shoots big for his movies, sometimes too big for his own well-being, and he can't get the funding to do exactly what he wants. And I believe that's kind of what happened with Reboot, if I'm not mistaken. It got a little too big for his own liking, and they had to get extra money for it. So I'll reserve judgment on getting excited for Clerks 3 until I see something, or until I see that they're going into production.
See, I think if it was any other movie, I'd agree with you. But because we know it's going to be at the Quick Shop or the Quick Stop,
and if they're going back to what worked with Clerks with the first, then okay. But still, I want to see something before I get really excited for it.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on to the next topic. Chris, I'm going to mute you because I'm hearing the kickback. I know this isn't the Martian Manhunter we'll get, but he's confirmed for the Snyder Cut. That's right. Henry Lennox will be Martian Manhunter and will be revealed as Martian Manhunter in the Snyder Cut. His scenes that were in the original script have now been shot. Taylor, how are you feeling about it?
Who isn't confirmed for the Snyder Cut? Like, what else we got? Like Power Girl, Crypto the Superdog, Batmite, Booster Gold. Like, who else can we put in this movie? You know what I mean? Like, but I that's like something they've been seeding since Man of Steel, right? That character, the character there's a Henry Lennox's character where he's like the sergeant major or whichever he is. Has a pretty decent sized role. He kind of pops back in for BVS. So I guess they were consciously seeding that all the way up to this, and it might have even been shot and cut out of the Justice League that we saw. So I guess
It wasn't shot. That is confirmed.
Okay, they never shot.
Zack Snyder got taken off of the project before they had the chance to shoot this.
Okay. Because it does feel like, okay, we're getting a lot of extra stuff in the movie that we weren't going to get in the first place, but I trust that this seemed like something they were building to this whole time. So cool, because I'm sure Henry Lennox was looking forward to being Martian Manhunter. I don't think he just signed up to be some just kind of random army guy.
So in the story, he revealed that he thought it was just going to be a one-off army character, and not that his character had a role going forward.
Oh, they told him he was going to be Martian Manhunter.
No, they didn't tell him. He didn't find out until when Justice League was starting to shoot.
Yeah, when they shot, yeah, they told him. They had to tell him.
Yeah. So he's like, I never got to see those off the project before we were supposed to start my portion of it, and so on and so forth. So.
Right on. Well, yeah. I mean, we've never seen any sort of interpretation of that character in the movies before, so that's always exciting, and it harkens back to people from our generation growing up watching the Justice League cartoon. Martian Manhunter was a card-carrying member of the Justice League that I first fell in love with. So I'll be excited to see that play out. I mean, I guess it might be a shame. It could be the only time we see this interpretation, because I don't know what continuity and blah, 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 Snyder Cut, DC, etc. But at least we'll get one bite at the apple here. Cool that we get that payoff, I guess. And I'm sure the Snyder fans are running wild of this.
I'm very excited for this. I know we're talking about Martian Manhunter, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I over-sweated my turtleneck that I was wearing and needed to change out of it after dancing so much. I'm out of shape. I am super duper excited for Martian Manhunter to appear in this flick, this 4-hour-long movie that apparently we're getting now. They changed so much. But yeah, I am. I love Martian Manhunter. Martian Manhunter is like my favorite DC superhero. Nobody really knows that. But I don't know what it is about him. Like, they made a pop figure of him that was like Walmart exclusive, and I could not find it anywhere until I went to a Comic-Con and was like, here's $100. I know it says 12 on the box, but so Martian Manhunter, I have his artwork right where my finger is pointing next to Nightwing. I'm so excited about this. Bring it on.
I think the biggest news, honestly, because it's been rumored for a while. It's cool to get the confirmation that Henry Lennox will be Martian Manhunter, and to me the biggest news of the recent Zack Snyder stuff, not only of the fact that it'll be a 4-hour movie now instead of a little miniseries, is that I think, if I'm not mistaken, please correct me if I'm wrong, he said that there's going to be no offshoots of this that he will be doing.
Yeah, he said it's basically been confirmed. This is the end of the Snyder cut.
Yeah, so
this is the end of the Snyderverse, his universe. It's done.
Yeah, so they're not going to make any more of these, which is a bummer. Like, of course, I want to see more Martian Manhunter because it's going to be cool seeing his ass and the CGI John Jones. Like, it's going to be dope. And I can't wait to see Ben Affleck's Batman again. That's going to make me happy. But
how he should have been.
Yeah, how the character should have been. In Wonder Woman, they do her better than how they treated her. But there's so many other things wrong with the original cut that I can't wait to see corrected in a 4-hour film, 4-hour movie that I will make my own intermission for when the time comes, if there's not already one in there. So I can't wait to plan out a day in March or whenever the hell this comes out to properly watch this thing, because it's going to be dope. And seeing Henry Lennox as Martian Manhunter, hell yeah! Come on now, hell yeah!
It really shows how drastically different this will be from whatever we saw, because that character just full stop doesn't exist in that movie. Not even I actually, believe it or not, rewatched that movie recently, and it is indeed not very good. And Henry Lennox's character, even as non-Martian, is not in it. So I wonder what capacity that character will pop up, how much of effect it'll have on the story. But just further to that point, we're basically getting a new movie with some similarities to the other movie that we saw. So, maybe we'll get Martian Manhunter smacking Steppenwolf around a little bit at the end too. That'd be cool.
That'd be great. That'd be so awesome.
Don't even say that, dude. Don't even say that.
Moving on, I know this next story is one that Taylor's going to be really excited for. David Aronofsky's The Whale.
Darren Aronofsky.
His name is Darren Aronofsky.
I'm tired.
The other one is
5 a.m. Give me a break.
And his name is Harry Lennox. I don't know if we've been calling him Henry this entire time. At least I did accidentally.
No, I think we got that one right. That was just on you, brother.
Yeah, I said Harry Lennox.
Brendan Fraser making a big screen return in The Whale.
Have you read the premise for this film?
I know everything about it because of the fact that Lou loves plays, and it was a play before.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
It is a play. It's being adapted from a play. It is the premise is a 600-pound man gets revisited by his estranged daughter.
He reaches out to her.
He reaches out to her
after he left his wife and came out as gay.
Yeah. So.
Oh man, this is gonna have the subtlety of a brick in your face coming from Aronofsky. This is gonna be, oh boy. Does anybody have kind of a take on Aronofsky? Does anybody have kind of an opinion on him as a filmmaker here?
No, I have never really watched any of his stuff, so
I like his stuff.
Yeah, I would say generally more often than not. I do. I know Mother rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Definitely one of those.
You mean
Mother. Wait, Nick, can you give me a Mother with reverb real quick, like it's written? Just real quick, please. Mother. There it is. I think that's how it's written. Thank you. Yeah, I know Mother was very polarizing. It was one of those, like, what is it?
He directed Noah? The fuck?
He directed, but I mean, Black Swan and Requiem are fantastic.
Yeah.
Those are
Black Swan. Yeah, Black Swan.
Okay, I have seen one of his films, and that's Noah.
You've only seen Noah?
You haven't seen Black Swan?
You haven't seen Requiem for a Dream?
Swan. I've not seen The Wrestler. I've not seen The Fountain.
Oh, The Wrestler. No, The Wrestler, sorry, is his best movie. It's so good. Like, that is a top
The Wrestler.
Yeah, I would say
The Wrestler one day, Nick, on Wrestle Rail. Continue, Taylor?
Yes.
I would say more. And I also didn't dislike Mother, for what that's worth too.
Mother.
So I like him as a filmmaker. I know some people, I think, find him kind of exhausting, or like his films aren't for everybody. That's easy to say. I think Noah's probably the most conventional thing that he's done. It's kind of the outlier in his filmography. I know a lot of people. I actually have not seen Noah. It's the only film of his I have not seen. I know a lot of people don't love Aronofsky or find him exhausting, and I get that. And I know a lot of people read the synopsis of this and went, "Oh boy, this is gonna be like." A lot of people were saying it was, it's just gonna be offensive, or it's going to be tasteless, and it might be. I don't know. This is just an announcement, but of course, what are you doing this Sunday? I'm really excited to see Brendan Fraser get a feature. He's had a very quiet kind of comeback through like Doom Patrol, I know, which I still haven't seen. Don't kill me, but
It's really good.
I'm ready to see him on the big screen.
I mean, if you want to see his bare ass, episode 1's great.
Amen. Wow, you should have told me that ages ago. I'm gonna watch it right after this.
That's why I stayed watching.
What are you doing this Sunday?
Come for Brendan Fraser's ass.
He's tapping that babysitter's ass. That's what he was doing.
Spoiler alert.
Very nice. Yeah, I will be watching this with optimism, maybe cautious optimism. This was an announcement that made everybody go nuts for one reason or another. So we'll see.
I'm excited for it. I don't know. It's an A24 film. If that gives you any benefit, I don't know. It's a weird, and I've had this discussion about it. Like, do you think that people are going to be taking it seriously? Because it's meant to be taken seriously,
right?
And by all accounts, I've done my research and looked at like how the play looks and stuff like that. And it's very evidently a skinny man in a ginormous fat suit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, and it goes along with the name, I guess, if that makes any sense. But I'm optimistic for it, but again, I do worry that it's not going to be taken seriously in the public's eye.
Yeah,
as much as it could be.
No, and I really don't have an opinion on this. I can't even say I'm excited for it. It was just cool to see the boys pop in the chat for more Brendan Fraser movies. It's Darren Aronofsky. It's A24. That's worth mentioning as well. Like, I'm so glad you said that, Taylor or Nick. I'm sorry. Like, it's A24. A24 pumps out hits.
What are you doing this Sunday?
They pumped out hits. A24. So seeing Brendan Fraser get more stuff, I love him in Doom Patrol. That's the one thing I've seen him in like 20 years, and it's so cool. The fact that my man's getting more work again at a popular and notable and reputable film studio. And Darren Aronofsky, although some people may not watch his movies a lot, or some people may not see his stinkers, right? Like they like Darren Aronofsky is his own genre to me, and I'm not his fan base. I've seen Black Swan. I've seen The Wrestler. 2 great movies, honestly, for different reasons. And I might check this out only so I can see the boys pop in the theater. This may be like WatCon 6 or whatever.
Oh my God.
WatCon 6, The Whale. So I'm I bit my tongue. I'm stoked. I'm stoked to see the boys pop over. To get excited, for those who don't know, to get excited. For more Brendan Fraser.
Some of us might be doing the other thing. If it's Who knows?
Yeah,
right.
but that's none of my business.
Well, moving on. Closing out with some MCU news. First off, Deadpool 3 is confirmed to be a part of the MCU. That's right. The third Deadpool film is somehow going to be fit into the MCU as the third film. How do y'all feel about that?
They play into that.
I know they'll play into that, but
They 1,000%
A simple way of putting it is that they're going to play into it, and it's going to be.
But
fantastic.
I guess my thing is what this means for the MCU going or so. What I'm thinking of.
They're taking risks, man. They've done the biggest thing that any movie has ever done, and they get to do whatever they want now. I never had any doubts about this going MCU, and I also didn't have any doubts about it staying with that R rating, because at the end of the day, who's making the call on this? Kevin Feige. And Kevin Feige is no fool. He's going to see the way to adopt this into what they've got, that it's going to fit while also keeping the distinct personality that's already created for itself with the previous 2 films. I'm very excited to see how it fits in. Obviously, yes, you guys hit it on the head. Deadpool's going to know that he's coming from one studio to the next and is now being like backdoored into a cinematic universe that's been going on for 10 plus years. That could be what the movie's about. I've seen people say it should be Deadpool kills the Fox universe, and I love that too. Like it's him just killing off all those like all the X-Men that we used to know. It's the New Mutants and the Fantastic Four. That would be kind of hilarious too. No, this is great. I can't wait, and I can't wait to see Deadpool hang out with the Avengers. The chemistry is going to be insane.
Oh my god!
I imagine Deadpool's going to play like Deadpool plays. It's going to be break the fourth wall. It's going to be raunchy. It's going to be violent. When he goes to be an Avenger, all that stuff's probably not going to be present. I don't think he'll break the fourth wall and all that. But it doesn't matter. Just the sheer insanity of seeing Deadpool meet Spider-Man and Thor and those characters is just going to be outrageous. I can't wait. This is awesome news. Big win.
I mean, this is going to be awesome. And I know they're not going to start shooting until next year, as crazy as that sounds, because Ryan Reynolds is one busy boy. But Deadpool 3, rated R, in the MCU. It's a feature movie. It's Deadpool 3 and not Deadpool the reboot, which they could totally reboot themselves because who cares? It's Deadpool. This movie should either begin, he should reference, or it should end with him going to Disney World. Like this is going to be so cool to see Ryan Reynolds in this universe and get to play around with all the other characters if he does get to do so. I don't know how you can plug him into the Avengers if you plan on it. Which, come on, it's a huge missed opportunity to not put him in there. Yeah. But like hypothetically, if he isn't, then he could still live in his own world within this universe. But come on, I want to see when Kang the Conqueror shows up, when Galactus shows up, they're gonna need all hands on deck, or Doctor Doom, or whoever the hell. They're gonna be all hands on deck, and a guy that could legitimately cannot be killed. Like that's something that it's gonna be so much fun to see. And Ryan Reynolds has approval over everything with this movie.
Yep.
They're giving him a lot of leeway, as he should, because he had a lot with the first film and the second film more so, and the third film, him and Feige will be working hand in hand, and I can't wait to see more of Wade Wilson in the MCU this time. Like that's gonna be a lot of fun to see. Watching our man, especially with I almost gave a little bit of a spoiler for my theory of WandaVision and how I think it's going to pan out. But bringing Wade in seamlessly can totally make sense, especially because the character allows it to.
I'm not going to lie. Ryan Reynolds having a lot of say, considering how much say he had on the second one, scares me because I feel like that second one's utter trash.
I don't think it's trash. It's definitely underwhelming, though.
Well, I say trash because of how good and surprising the first one was. And that first one was more of a labor of love of a combination of Reynolds and the original director. Well, the original director is no longer on board.
You're talking about Tim Miller?
Yeah, Tim Miller. Thank you. I couldn't think of his name. So that's why, and so I saw what I got with the second one. And that's why I'm a little bit afraid hearing that he's got even more say and control.
At the same time, I think who he's collaborating with has changed a lot. And while he's going to have a lot of say and a lot of input, at the same time, now this is a entry in a bigger picture, and he's going to get. I think while he'll have control in a way that probably most actors in Marvel films don't, I think he's also going to have to learn to play ball with the greater decision makers that maybe he didn't have at Fox. Where Fox was like, "Oh shit, this first one played really well. You're off the leash, just go for it." And Marvel's going to go, well, or specifically Kevin Feige's going to go, well. Let's consider a couple different options here, and let's figure out let's figure out a way to make this work more cohesively. I think
you still got to fall in line with the other movies,
right? And I think I trust in the Marvel process at this point, and they figured out a way for Deadpool to work there, so it's gonna work there. And that means I don't think it means Ryan Reynolds is gonna have to fall in line per se, because that wouldn't be good either. I wouldn't like that, but
yeah,
I think he's going to have to respect a couple different, I don't want to say hurdles, but he's just going to have to respect the process a little bit more than, hey, go nuts. And by the way, I actually I think I'm the outlier. I like Deadpool 2.
I do.
I still do. Yeah, I like it.
No,
yeah.
I think it's good.
I left the theater disappointed as hell.
In terms of rewatchability, if I was going to throw on one of them right now, I probably would actually throw the second one on. If I wanted to watch one right now.
Yeah,
I'm going to disagree highly there. Granted, I think I think both movies lose rewatchability. That's just me.
Ooh.
Maybe.
That's I can't handle all these takes right now.
For me, Deadpool is not a rewatchable series, one that you can just go to all the time. Maybe like once every year or so.
Sure.
But that's just because you need to give yourself a break from those jokes, because otherwise you're like, hey, it's not as funny this time around.
Actually, you know what? I've only seen the first Deadpool one time, and I think I'm due for a rewatch. So I think that's what I'll do after this. So.
Dude. Honestly, I really like the first Deadpool. Talk about rewatchability. I could pop that guy on just as background noise. I'll still be chuckling, and the acting still that movie. So the jokes will be dated as hell going forward, but I still think the first one's better in my opinion, and it's more rewatchable. But I see why y'all dig the second one. I rewatched the second one a couple weeks ago, actually.
I mean, I watched I watched the first one again shortly after I saw it the first time, and I still thought it was funny afterwards.
Like, no, that first Deadpool rules.
Like, I literally saw it like 2 days after I saw the first one, and I thought.
See, but that it's still fresh. Then I'm just talking about like a month later. Like, I'm not talking about.
Well, in this case, it's been 5 years.
Right, I felt that way about the second one though, because like it had been months after I had seen it, and my brothers were watching it in Nathan's room, and I thought it was still just as funny for the parts that I saw.
Deadpool came out 5 years ago. Oh my god. Yo,
it'll be 5 years next month, just shy of 5 years.
I mean, like I said, the humor hits for me personally, but could be just me.
Oh no, I'm right.
It's also based on sense of humor. You have more of the dark, deprecating sense of humor. To me, once a joke hits, it's either gonna stick or land, and that's just me. It's humor in general.
No, and when Deadpool 3 drops, I think it will have like a nice combo of the two. It'll be Deadpool-y to however much Ryan Reynolds prefers, and it's still a more of an MCU flick.
Right.
Like, it's going to be happy medium, especially if you want the character to not only be part of the universe going forward, hopefully, but we'll see. This may be the end of Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool. Who knows? Like, honestly, we don't know, and until they tell us, we're not going to find out. Deadpool rakes in money like a mofo. Granted, so does Marvel. So they don't need Deadpool. They didn't need to make this movie. Kevin Feige's like, I'll let you come play in the sandbox, but you got to cool it.
Right.
But the fact that it's rated R also says a lot. That they're like they will allow Deadpool to still be chopping off heads and saying the F word or whatever the hell. Like, it's gonna be a nice happy medium between the two, and hopefully it'll be a nice cap off to a potential trilogy, if not a continuation here under Disney, which is crazy to say Deadpool and Disney in the same sentence.
Personally, I'm hoping for it to be the end, but that's just me.
No,
well,
and
I mean, it
can be the end. If they have no plans for the character going forward, then sure, like, end it here. I'm glad we're giving him a proper ending, and they know it's going to be the end instead of just having Deadpool 2 be Deadpool 2. But now the big question: what do you do with the side characters? Negasonic Teenage Warhead, Cable. Are you going to bring in Colossus again?
I have a feeling we're going to see Deadpool dealing with the fallout of being in a new universe. That's just me, and that those characters carry over.
Right, literally, the continuity gets wiped, but he remembers the prior.
Everything. Yeah.
That's like a past life type of deal. Like, I like that. That'd be a lot of fun to see. It's like, where's Colossus?
Who knows? By the time this actually is made and comes out, we may have a new established X-Men, and that plays into it. So, because we don't know when this is coming out, we just know it's going forward.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And hey, the first R-rated MCU film. That's pretty significant in of itself. And I still
think it won't be the first R-rated MCU film.
What's first, if I may ask?
Okay.
You think we get Blade first?
So Blade's supposed to be first, because where I was going with that is I hope that's a chance that plays off and that Blade's R-rated.
I'm pretty sure Blade is supposed to be start shooting by the end of this year.
I don't think we have gotten an official confirmation that Blades are rated. That's the popular theory.
It was hinted at.
But no one's like, Blades are rated. Kevin Feige 2020. Like, until they tell us, I'm gonna be like, But I hope it's R-rated, as it should be. Blade should be R-rated.
I also just rewatched the original Blade for the first time in a while.
Why have you been rewatching all these films, Taylor?
you
And
know,
the first Blade rules, right?
it rips, dude. It holds up so
Let's
well.
go! That movie
Like, yeah,
rocks.
like some of the effect shots.
Recently got a 4K re-release, by the way.
It's so good. The Snipes is amazing. I love Mahershala, but man, he's got big boots to fill.
Yeah.
Coming in after Snipes. The action's so good. It just and plus it's a Del Toro movie, right? Like it's just so good. The first Blade's so good. It needs to be R-rated. I'm not one here who's like, I want more R-rated superhero movies. It's for big boys. Like that's not my prerogative. But Blade just lends itself to lots and lots and lots of blood. It's about vampires and a man who murders vampires. Like
I have vampire who murders vampires.
Yeah.
Is Morbius rated R?
The day
No,
one.
it is not. All right. Well, moving on to this next story, and I want to kind of make this one quick because I know we'll probably have much to say about these last two before getting on to the actual main topic. It is rumored that Charlie Cox has filmed his stuff for Spider-Man 3, if he really is into it. But he is not the only Marvel Netflix character we've heard rumors about recently. We've also heard rumors about Jessica Jones showing up in another Marvel property. Start with Tay, some feelings.
Awesome. I think it was such a shame that it seemed like the Netflix stuff was going to fall out of continuity. It seems like it's not. And is there any reason within the continuity of those Netflix shows? Is there any real canon reason that they can't still coexist with the movies? Did they fuck that up?
Ali.
Yeah.
And also Mahershala Ali's cousin or whatever, because that's the mom from Civil War who talks to Tony Stark in the beginning of it.
Avery Woodard. Yeah, it wasn't
Avery Woodard.
War.
Avery.
Okay.
That was Alfred.
Oh no, I thought you said Avery, or I thought you said Avery, and I'm like, wouldn't it be Avery? No, it's Alfred. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
In any case, I'm excited. Obviously, Daredevil was really the greatest thing, at least in my opinion, of those Netflix Marvel shows, relatively speaking.
Well, I do have something. I wanted to add on something before you continue. You talk about, is there anything that can keep them from being canon? We're basically have it confirmed. We're getting into the multiverse. So what's to stop them from saying these are just the main universe's versions of those characters?
Sure. Yeah. I think those performances and, the quality of the shows kind of, it ebbs and flows, but the performances, especially Charlie Cox, so good. I thought it'd be such a unfortunate waste to kind of just dump it in the trash and move on. So awesome. If Daredevil and Spider-Man need to hang out in a movie. Okay.
Yes.
Now Spider-Man 3 notwithstanding, again, this is that I was dunking on the Snyder Cut earlier. This has got the same issue of like, well, who else is in it? Okay. But so I don't know how much screen time Daredevil could possibly have, but cool. And also those set photos came out today that seems like it's still reckoning with Mysterio in some fashion in the film too.
Yes, and it looks like it's a Christmas movie, and it comes out in December.
That also, came out as well. So yeah, I'm excited about this. How do you guys feel about it?
I know somebody to the left of me.
He's got to unmute first.
Very, very excited.
I thought Nick wanted to go. I'll have.
Well, okay. It goes hand in hand with the Mysterio stuff that we got, in my opinion. Clearly, Spider-Man's going to need a legal team around him potentially, and there's two routes that you could go with this. It's either go She-Hulk or go Daredevil. I don't think that anybody was thinking Daredevil at first because of the Marvel stuff or the Marvel Netflix stuff, and then the deal ends and the characters go back to the MCU, and you're going, well, this hypothetically could be
while Spider-Man shooting.
Eventually, we're going to potentially get another Matt Murdock. Why not just keep the guy who already is playing him? And I do agree with you, Matt. Like these characters, even so, you got that universe, you got this universe. Why couldn't Charlie Cox still be Daredevil within that universe?
Well, my other thing is, when Kevin Feige was asked about this by Frosty from Collider, Kevin Feige didn't even answer. He just stared at the camera with this smirk and straight face.
Yeah, he knew. And here's the thing, is that like, you want to know how these movies or how these properties coexist with the MCU? Do they exist within Netflix anymore?
Look, so
There
so
you go.
Technically,
They don't
they
exist.
do. They do.
Okay, but I'm
I
go
may
watch
be-
Daredevil
I may
right
be-
now.
I may be in the minority with this, but honestly, even though Mahershala was Cottonmouth already, he could.
Who cares?
Who cares?
That's,
Like,
that's where I'm
who
at. It's just
cares?
like who
See,
cares?
it
Nobody's gonna
it
care.
bugs me because that was such a large character. I'm sorry. I'm a canon guy. In the canon of that universe, he was a large portion, and you can't have Daredevil be joining the Marvel universe, and Blade be joining the Marvel universe,
I'll
played
do
by
you one-
Mahershala Ali, and be like,
I'll do you one better, Matt. How about we just take the characters, because the MCU will probably never acknowledge what happened in those Netflix shows. Like, and
Yeah.
as unfortunate as it is, I think that's what's going to happen. And so if we do see Jessica Jones and She-Hulk, which I hope we do, oh my God, it'd be so cool. Her and Luke, put Luke in that shit too. Like just as cameos. We don't even need them to be supporting characters or anything. Like, they probably won't acknowledge the events of what they've gone through in their seasons. They'll just be there as the characters that they played for years. And when we'll see, inevitably, at least for my own theory of how Spider-Man 3 will pan out, when we see Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock in this thing, being hopefully Peter Parker's legal advisor or lawyer, whatever the hell, then like they're not going to talk about Elektra or the Defenders, you know, like they're just gonna it's gonna be Matt Murdock, Charlie Cox playing the character that he honestly probably put into the mainstream. Sorry, Ben Affleck. So I think that you can still acknowledge those characters by bringing back those actors, but odds are they will not acknowledge what they've gone through on the shows, which is a bummer. Totally is a bummer.
no, it's not. Those shows other than Daredevil were trash.
I disagree, respectfully.
Well, no, excuse me. Daredevil and Luke Cage season 1, and Jessica Jones season 1. The rest were.
I still, but yes, I think those characters will still move on. They won't acknowledge the shows, but it's the fact that they're bringing back Charlie Cox. If this is true, they bring back Charlie Cox. Hell yeah, give me some more. Jessica Jones, come on, She-Hulk.
I feel like you have to.
John Punisher.
No,
Yeah.
we don't need that. But here, I feel like you have to go with the alternate universe thing because you have to reset fans' expectations for these characters. Those shows were dark, brooding, and bloody. You can't do that right now. With the Deadpool, you're gonna get away with it because it's sex and fucks. With Blade, you're gonna get away.
What did you say?
I said with Deadpool, you're gonna get away with doing that because it's sex and saying fuck.
Oh,
Sex
okay. I was
and
gonna
fucks.
say his name is Wade Wilson, not Sex and Fucks.
No, it's but it's the I'm talking about the
Cage did a lot of sexing and fucking. All right.
Yeah, and but that's my point. You have to reset the fans' expectations for those characters. You can't you can say, oh, they shouldn't. They're not going to acknowledge. Yes, but you have to reset the fan expectations, which is why you should have them be from the Prime universe instead of and have that Netflix series be its own multiverse.
Okay. Like I don't.
I'm just saying from the casual audience, the people who watch those shows, they could possibly end up disappointed if they're not seeing those characters.
They were disappointed when the show got canceled, Matt. Like let
me finish my statement. Let me finish my statement. If they don't see those characters in the same light that they did, if those characters aren't meeting the expectations that the Marvel Netflix shows set for those characters. That's why I was completely against bringing them in the first place. So,
but you don't think they can take those characters and put them in movies with different tones than their source material? No.
I'm saying if they're doing that, what they need to do is make it known that this is this multiverse's version of those characters. I think that's the cleanest way you can get away with doing that.
I think that's fine. They can just they can just sort of vaguely state it. It's like, here's Daredevil. You kind of know what Daredevil is. Same guy's playing him. We don't have to get into the step-by-step continuity backstory. Just like, here's Daredevil, same actor. And to me, that just says more Daredevil, whether it means he's going to get a show on Disney Plus or they're going to try him out in a movie again. more Daredevil. And I hope if Charlie Cox gets carried over, more than anything, I hope that means D'Onofrio fifth, and we get to see that character interact with Spider-Man, because we never seen those two characters interact before. And D'Onofrio is one of the standout performances of the whole Netflix thing. I made that moment for me, the moment with him in the car door. That's when I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here, Marvel? I don't know what. This is not what I'm used to. This isn't Iron Man eating cheeseburgers anymore. What's going on? So, if we get away from it being that dark and that violent, I mean, it is what it is. I think some characters, again, like Blade, are just lend themselves too heavily to it, like a Punisher. If you want to do anything else with Punisher, you can't make it PG-13. It's just not how that works. Daredevil, you can get a little bit of leeway with it as long as the story is still as serious as the source material is. And I'm at the end of the day, more Charlie Cox's Daredevil, awesome. Whether that means it's a new continuity, the same continuity, it's the same character. So that's what matters to me. So I'm excited that allegedly we're getting more of that. Yes. I hope it's more than this movie. I hope it spins out into his own thing.
Connor, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm saying that you need to reset fans' expectations in this universe. You can't just, you're going to have fans who are like, oh, it's tying into this. You have to reset those expectations. It's not more so about the R rating, but a mixture of the R rating and the material that with those actors.
Is it about the R rating or is it not about the R rating?
It's a mixture between all these different factors.
Because you just said it wasn't.
I said it's not just about the R rating. It's not just about the R rating.
Okay. We're getting Charlie Cox's Daredevil, hopefully, and I'm fucking excited. I'm sexing and fucking excited.
Connor, there are people who are going to care. You may disagree with it, but it's the truth.
Matt's gonna care.
Matt's gonna care.
At the end of the day, should we really be setting our expectations for this film so high? Tobey Maguire isn't in it. Charlie Cox isn't in it. Andrew Garfield isn't in it. We might have.
I'm in it.
Chris Anthony Lopez is in this movie, and hopefully, as Miles Morales. Hopefully,
I'm ultimate. I'm Earth 2. I'm ultimate Spider-Man. Like I'm Black Peter Parker, so internet could lose their freaking minds.
There we go.
I'm black and I'm gay, Spider-Man, so people can lose their minds. And I'm Peter Parker still.
I don't know. I am ready to like hopefully at the end of the day for this movie, as much as I am excited for Spider-Man, and I'll probably be getting into that at some point, my expectations for it are still just not set until I get any confirmation on any of this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I am so excited because like Alfred Molina coming back as Doc Ock being confirmed, right? That's confirmed, right?
I guess.
Marvel hasn't said anything.
Yeah, so since nothing has been confirmed, like you know what my expectations are? Is that Vulture is going to have something to do with this, that Mysterio is going to have something to do with this, and that Scorpion might have something to do with this. You want to know why? Because these are all things that have appeared in these movies.
Yeah. I mean, nothing. Kevin Feige's not, or Kevin Feige, Amy Pascal, they've not been like, oh, yep, Alfred Molina, Jamie Foxx. No one said that. Jamie did say something, but not Alfred Molina. So Spider-Man.
Well, right. Okay. Yes. Jamie Foxx has been confirmed. Yay.
Because he was like, can't wait, brother. I can't wait. And this movie is gonna be weird, and we're just talking about the hypothetical of Daredevil being in this thing, and the hypothetical of all these people being in this thing. We don't know. The people on set know, and there've been some leaked photos and all that stuff. But I just think it'd be the fact that these characters are being included hypothetically is all that matters.
Well, moving on to the next story, we're gonna cut these next two stories short because we spent a lot of time on our reviews. Ethan Hawke cast in Moon Knight. I know we're all excited about this, especially considering he's one of the people who said superhero movies, oh, it's ruining film.
He's the only one who's actually been confirmed, right? Is Oscar Isaac even been confirmed for this movie? Or this show?
Go.
The cinematographers were like, "Yo, we love working with Oscar. He's the best." And it's like, wait, what? Like, not Marvel. Marvel didn't even say anything at the.
Ethan Hawke is the only person who has been confirmed to join Oscar Isaac's Moon Knight, even though Oscar Isaac has yet to be confirmed as Moon Knight. So, like, what are we doing here, people? Like, should we even believe this at this point? Is he Moon Knight?
I believe it.
Ethan
I
Hawke
want
is
to believe
Moon
it.
Knight, for all we know.
I want to believe it. This rules. I said on Twitter, I'm rapidly becoming more excited for this and I'm excited for everything MCU, as I've said before. We must stand. But this might be the top. This might be the peak for me right now because it's just shaping up to be so interesting and weird. We've got Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead directing a couple episodes who up to this point have done like weird indie sci-fi horror films. Like amazing that they're going to get to do something like this, which lends itself to being weird. Ethan Hawke, just again, not an actor you expect to see in these kinds of things, which is no discrediting of his ability or his talent, just not the kind of projects he tends to do. So I love it. Gotta have it. Let put it right here.
All right.
Right there.
This is similar to like when Tilda Swinton was cast into Doctor Strange, or when Jeff Bridges was an Iron Man. Like those, like there's a certain actor where you're like, what the, like you're in a Marvel movie now,
What the what?
and that's how this was for me when I saw Ethan Hawke's name. Do we know who he's playing? No, we can sit here all day and speculate. Is this an official confirmation from Marvel? Was it? No, right?
Nothing has been like the only confirmed things
the
from Marvel's
Republic
what we got in
report
last month.
on this, or Deadline, whatever the hell. Reputable,
Deadline, yeah.
but still like, to Nick's point, can we buy into this? Hypothetically, if this is the case, which Deadline and Hollywood Reporter are telling us is the case, then yes. I mean, it's a TV show. Ethan Hawke's no stranger to TV shows. Like it's Ethan freaking Hawke in a Marvel show. Moon Knight, nonetheless. Moon Knight's gonna be the coolest shit that Marvel will ever put out, probably, because it's gonna be so weird and dope. Oscar Isaac, hypothetically and supposedly, Ethan Hawke, and just how weird Moon Knight can get. Because it depending on what interpretation of the character you go, either way, he has people talking to him. He's talking to himself all the time. He's talking to the gods in his head. So I'm so dope. I'm not dope.
You are dope.
No, I'm so excited to see this. This is so dope. I can't wait. Moon Knight, yes, please. Give me more.
All right. Last news story before we get to most anticipated of 2021. There are rumors Chris Evans is back for Captain America. It's made it seem like it's only for one project with the possibility of a second. Guys, real quick before we get into the most anticipated of 2021, what are your thoughts?
Nothing is sacred. Nothing is like nothing sacred. I just got done stroking off the MCU for the last 20 minutes. Let me get mad. Let me get mad for a second.
Oh boy.
When I thought this was like an Endgame, we had such a sweet and tender moment with Steve. He got to go back and be with Peggy. It ended the movie. That's how the movie ended. The biggest movie ever. And like we see him be happy for the first time in years. And he's like, and we get this news, Chris Evans is coming back. Why? And I get it, right? They're talking like there's a lot of people that are speculating that he could be like in a Captain America like out of time type of situation where he's correcting the mistakes, like just like what ifs or hypotheticals or the time that he didn't get to see with him returning the Infinity Stones. Right, like that could be dope, but no, like come on,
El Hydra.
Like I know, whoa, like money talks, right? Money totally talks, and Chris Evans said when he was done with Endgame, like unless they got something really good for me, and now here we are talking about this thing.
It's her niece, not her granddaughter.
Her niece, come on, George.
Yeah, it's not weird. It's her niece.
Yeah, it's not as.
Is it his niece though? We don't know.
His niece? Oh God!
Oh,
Get back, Chris.
no.
Go back to what you were saying.
I'm not the biggest fan of this. I'm like, come on, Chris, you're better than that. And he's out here on Twitter. News to me. Don't work me, Chris. Come on now. But at the same time, I'm gonna see this shit. Like
See, Connor, he's already been confirmed for What If. He was confirmed a while ago. This is saying
that was like years ago.
2 years ago now. Actually,
Mhm.
they're saying this is a completely separate project.
And at least one. And I'm like, what is this, bro? Like,
I'm pretty sure this is a scroll thing. That's the only thing that makes sense, especially for a one-off. If it's a one-off, possibly two, it's the only thing that makes sense and still leave.
If it's him playing a different character or like him playing a scroll, like putting on the guise of Captain America, Steve Rogers, then okay, I guess. But I'm not the biggest fan of this. But at the same time, Chris Evans is back.
Right. In regards to nothing being sacred, I mean, this is comic books, right? Nobody stays dead. I really had no doubts, even at the end of Endgame, like that Chris Evans would find a way back to it. And I think Robert Downey Jr. comes back to this at least one more time before it's all said and done, because that's comics. Nobody stays dead. Right. But damn, we could have gone a little bit longer. Like, because we haven't even seen the proper rollout of all the stuff that exists in Chris Evans' absence. Like, we've not even really got to see what the MCU sans Iron Man and Cap really is. And now we're already like, well, Cap's coming back. It's like, don't get me wrong, I'm not mad about it. I'm not sad to see that character, but we did get such a great, just classy send-off, which not just for the character, but for Chris Evans himself, it just felt like, here we go. Let's give him a definitive, beautiful, exit, and let that kind of be distinguished and sit there for a while.
Right.
And then, in 10 years, oh shit, Galactus is here, so we gotta dig up Captain America's corpse and put him in the Kryptonian ship and make terrible Pet Cemetery jokes.
Make Quicksilver run.
Breaking news. I don't know who initially reported this, but Geeks of Color just shared it, so it's a very reputable. Actually, Geeks of Color just shared this story from an Australian news site. Matt Damon has joined the cast of Thor: Love and Thunder and is in Sydney, Australia for shooting.
Matt Damon.
No, I saw it before the show started, and I didn't think twice about it. I was like, all right, cool.
That's bullshit because Matt Damon already played a character.
Yeah, wait a second.
Yeah, that's why
you can't bring him back.
He's not dead. He's garbage. Dead. He's not dead.
Version of his character. Oh my god.
He could be.
You gotta establish the continuity of this Matt Damon. Nobody's gonna accept it.
He played himself. One. It's not like he played himself.
Unreal.
It might just be a continuation. It might just be that same character for another bit.
I'm just fucking with you, Matt.
Yeah. It's totally the same character. It's a sequel to freaking Ragnarok.
I guess he could be one of the 10 Asgardians that made it. Sure.
I mean, there's an entire city of New Asgard.
And they gave him Matt Damon.
All right. Well,
there's another big. If he's like actually playing like an actual character, not a goofy cameo, there's another guy who didn't expect to see in the MCU.
Great point.
All right. Well, because we've been going for 220, let's get through these.
Clean.
We're gonna. Yeah. Whenever Taylor's on the show, it seems like it's inevitable.
It's just a coincidence.
No, it's literally that whenever Taylor's on the show, us three are already on there, and we're adding another opinion to all that we're talking about.
No, because there have been times we've gotten through a breezy 2 hours with Taylor on the show. It just seems lately Taylor.
Breezy breed love.
It seems like lately Taylor's only been able to come on when there's a fuck ton of news to talk about.
But we don't have a show for like 3 weeks. Then the other one is just you and I. Yeah, that makes sense.
I just show up for the big ones. You know what I mean?
All right, so we're doing our top 5 most anticipated medias for 2021. This is movies, books, comics, music, video games, all that stuff. So, here are the honorable mentions we had. Honorable mentions: Pixar's Luca, 2 Falcon and Winter Soldier, Resident Evil 8. The Suicide Squad was mentioned by 2 people. Mission Impossible 7. Conjuring 3 was mentioned Morbius was picked by 2 people, and Justice League the Snyder Cut.
Cool.
Yeah, it's insane. I could tell you that Luca was Chris, Space Jam was Chris and Connor, Winter Soldier and Falcon, I want to say, was Chris as well, off the top of my head.
It was.
Resident Evil 8 was Taylor. The Suicide Squad. Let me just make sure I got this right. The Suicide Squad was Taylor and Chris, I believe.
Nope.
No,
George, it's Resident Evil video game, not the movie.
It was me.
It was, it was you. Sorry, I'm trying to juggle all the stuff. Mission Impossible 7 was Taylor. Conjuring 3 was Connor. Morbius was Connor and Nick. And Justice League, the Snyder Cut, was Nick. I don't even think I put mine on here, but I have mine on my phone, so I'll read them off. Mine were Bel Air, Halloween Kills, and I also said the Suicide Squad is an honorable mention. So,
a lot of good stuff on here.
Yeah. So going forward,
That was hard. Doing the honorable mentions was hard. I had like 20. When I texted you guys, had 21 things to pick from. I immediately added like 5 more things, so I ended with like 26 and narrowed it down to 5.
Yeah,
I literally thought of things as I was watching on the show that I should have put on there. So to put "Don't Look Up" on my honorable mentions list as well.
Yeah. So going forward, let's start off with the number 5. This and the Black Messiah, Matrix, Mass Effect Remastered, Don't Look Up, and No Time to Die. Taylor, who do you think picked what?
Can you put them back up for me?
Yeah.
And so let's see. So this is the 4 of us, and
Connor.
Connor's in here too. I think Connor picked No Time to Die.
That is incorrect.
Shit. Matt, I think you picked Judas and the Black Messiah.
That is incorrect.
Shit. Okay, somebody else go.
No, keep going. Keep going. This is you. We're gonna.
Okay, Connor's The Matrix.
That is correct.
Apparently, Nick is Don't Look Up.
Nope.
That is incorrect. He just said he should have put that on his honorable mention.
God damn it. Well, now it's just like what mine is. So, I don't know, man. Tell me. Reveal.
So Judas and the Black Messiah was Chris. Can you take a guess?
Was that Nick?
Yes.
Yeah, of course it was.
Mine has a theme. Whoa, no. Mine has a theme.
Are yours black movies? Please tell me they are.
No, except for one. Well, 2 of them. There's 4 things on this list that are just very special to me. And one of these was because this was a Cleveland-made film that I worked on for one day. But it was a Cleveland-made film that I am very excited to see. It has a lot of great talent on it. Great up-and-coming director. A story that needs to be told. I'm just very excited for this film, literally from what I heard about it. So that's why it's on my list. I think that it's an Oscar film that I am, hopefully, that I am just very excited to see.
Well, Nick, just a heads up. You don't actually have to talk about your pick. We're just going through the list.
Boring.
We should talk about him.
Taylor, talk about Mass Effect Remastered.
Well, hold on. Taylor, you got to figure out the last 2. So you got Don't Look Up and No Time to Die.
We're gonna be here all night. Don't Look Up is Chris's?
Yeah.
Okay. And No Time to Die is yours?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Solely because of Kid Cudi. Let me be frank. So a theme I took with my list was I didn't include things that I didn't know were coming out this year.
Judas was Nick.
Like the things were in flux, right? A lot of things don't have release dates. Like Don't Look Up, I don't think has a proper release date, but we know it's coming out this year. So I left that as my caveat. But I tried to include things I knew were coming out this year. They had a date. And Don't Look Up is the one thing I'm like, meh. But this cast, y'all. Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Meryl Streep, Chris Evans, Ron Perlman, Ariana Grande, Timothée Chalamet, Scott Mescudi. That's just like off the top of the dome. Like,
Adam
there's so
McKay
many-
directing.
Adam McKay's directing this thing, and it's gonna be on Netflix. I'm totally down for it. It's two like astrologists being like, "Yo, a meteor's gonna come hit the Earth," and they're doing a press tour. And I'm pretty sure all these actors and actresses are just like media people or fellow astronomers, which I'm totally down for. But it's Scott Mescudi. That's why it's my 5. I would have bumped up probably Falcon Winter Soldier if it wasn't this, or I would have cheated and said Jonah Hill. Thank you, Connor. I would have cheated and said the whole MCU slate of this year. I really wanted to say that. I really did. But no, Don't Look Up. It has so much potential. Big cast. We love big casts over here. So yes, I love Don't Look Up already.
I'll keep mine quite frank. Daniel Craig is my favorite Bond. I want to see his last film in theaters. I appreciate them pushing it back and not even doing a digital release for it. I don't think that's going to happen because of the Broccoli family. And yeah, that is. I just can't wait, especially because Billie Eilish's song slaps. So moving on to the number 4. Or Nick or Taylor, real quick, Mass Effect.
Real quick, Mass Effect. The original trilogy are my favorite video games of all time. They're getting remastered and re-released this year on last and current gen consoles. That'd probably be the first thing to make me go ahead and just make the investment into a PS5. I can't wait to play these games again. I can't wait for the proper Mass Effect 4 they seem to be teasing, because I didn't love Andromeda, unfortunately. It was okay. Can't wait to play these games again. Can't wait to stream them on this channel. That's my plan, to experience them again for everybody to watch and participate in. They're just amazing execution of the concept of story in games, the idea of transferring over save files from one game to the next and all your decisions having consequences and shaping the world. It's just beautiful, beautiful games. Can't wait to play them again with refreshed mechanics and gameplay. Gonna be awesome. Can't fucking wait for more Mass Effect.
All right, moving on. Number 4. Nick, go ahead and go take a chance at number 4.
Who? Me?
Yes.
Okay. Chris is in the Heights.
Nope.
You're in the Heights.
Correct.
Chris is is Connor Suicide Squad?
Let me go to my notes and check. No.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
I'm gonna just go through here and say that. Oh, okay. Chris is Suicide Squad.
That is correct.
I am Cheery.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry.
Taylor's Godzilla versus Kong. And,
Incorrect.
Okay. Connor is Godzilla versus Kong, and Taylor is Candyman.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He did it.
Cheery, shot in Cleveland. Hype.
Yo, I've been up since 5.
I know. I can't not. Just go, okay. In the Heights. Are you excited for it?
I've been excited for this since last year. Anthony Ramos. Shit. That was the only reason I needed, and then the trailer slapped. So
Yeah,
Right
okay.
on.
So,
Who's next?
which one was mine? Suicide Squad? Is that what I said? Yo, this movie's gonna be hard. It's gonna be so hard. It's a rated R Suicide Squad. They're on an island and they're fighting other things and people. It's gonna be so dope. And they're all gonna die, and it's gonna be crazy as hell. And John Cena's gonna be Pacemaker's gonna get his own show, or Peacemaker's gonna get his own show after this. And James Gunn's currently writing and shooting it. It's gonna be nuts. I can't wait to see it. And we're gonna see him first in the Suicide Squad. We're gonna just outrun this thing. The only returning cast I think is Margot, Viola Davis, and Joel Kinnaman.
yes, that is correct.
Oh, and what's his nuts? Jack Courtney, right? He's gonna be Boomerang.
Yes, Jack
Yes.
Courtney.
So like that's yes, please. All these new people. I credit DC fandom with getting me hyped for this. Like I'm so stoked for this. And if you would have told me 5 years ago, Chris, like, I know you just got done watching Suicide Squad. Yeah, you're gonna love the sequel. What the? And it would have been this whole thing. But that's a good one too. Kong and Godzilla's gonna be nuts. Nuts.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
What have you got, Matt? What was yours?
Mine was In the Heights. I said that first.
Right. You did. Sorry. We're moving at a pace I'm not familiar with here. It's so fast. So that leaves me, Candyman. Candyman. So many movies got delayed and pulled off the schedule last year, and Candyman is maybe the one that broke my heart the most. I can't wait. Not only is it a reboot, or maybe it's not a reboot, but it's some sort of re-envisioning.
Requel.
Yeah, it's some sort of new spin on one of the first horror movies to ever truly traumatize me as a child. It's in that way, it is very near and dear to my heart. Nia DaCosta, I never know.
Yeah.
It's Nia DaCosta. I think she looked to have a very inspired original spin on it. Obviously, there's going to be some Jordan Peele flavor in there. Never sad about that. Looks amazing from everything they've shown so far, and will all likelihood be a strong contender for my favorite film of the year. Can't wait to see Candyman. Of course, it had to be on this list.
All right.
How many times did I say his name? Are we okay?
Yeah, we're good.
Cool.
Chris, you're up.
All right, cool. So, context clues. Nick is Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, baby.
Correct.
Okay. There's a Space Jam. There's a Falcon Winter Soldier. Matt, I'm gonna say you're Falcon Winter Soldier.
Incorrect.
Damn it. I'm gonna say that Taylor's Halloween Kills.
That is correct.
Of course.
Spoiler alert, I'm in the Heights. And who's left? So Nick.
Me and
so
Connor.
it's Connor. So you are Space Jam?
I'm Space Jam, yes.
And Connor's Falcon Winter Soldier. Good shit.
Yes, sir.
A lot of good ones. Lots of good ones in there. I mean, I'll start with my In the Heights chat. Yo, Matt mentioned that trailer. That trailer's bomb. Like it's, I don't know. I don't know what else I could expect out of this. And maybe I'm still riding off of that Hamilton hype, because it's another Lin-Manuel Miranda project that he wrote the original stage musical, and John M. Chu, I believe that's his name.
Yep, John Chu.
He's directing this thing, and I just got done watching Crazy Rich Asians a couple weeks ago, and that movie is incredible. And the fact that he's doing this one makes me super happy, and I'm so glad I watched Crazy Rich Asians because now I'm super jazzed for In the Heights. Anthony Ramos, last time I was on Real Talk, I already expressed my love for my man, and I think this will be his first real shot for people outside of Hamilton fans to be like, yo, that guy's dope. And Corey Hawkins is in this too. And I haven't seen much Corey Hawkins since Straight Outta Compton. So and Skull Island. So I'm like, give me some more Corey Hawkins as well. I'm so stoked for In the Heights. So stoked. We got pushed back a year and I was bummed. So bummed. But maybe if I might put on my hazmat suit come this summer and go see it at the theater. I want to see that as big and as loud as I can. It's gonna be so dope.
You miss Corey Hawkins and Black Klansman, I take it then.
Hell no! I saw Black Klansman. I forgot he's in that. No shit.
Brother Kwame. All right. Well, Taylor, Halloween Kills. Tell us about it.
Halloween Kills. My list is super predictable. You just pick out the horror movie and you found me. Halloween Kills, another one that I was really excited to see last year. I can't believe I have to wait all the way till October of this year to catch this because it's done and it's been done. But it looks awesome. I thought everybody was skeptical about the first David Gordon Green Halloween with good reason. Always a big risk trying these characters out again. They knocked it out of the park. I thought it was awesome. I made Michael Myers scary again. Not so easily done. Now it looks like we're just going nuts. It's Michael Myers versus Haddonfield. It looks crazy, over the top. It's going to be brutal. Just the little teasers that they posted have been awesome. I am still a little skeptical about making a whole trilogy, doing 3 more Michael Myers movies, but there's nothing I've seen about this one that makes me doubt it. Looks awesome. I can't wait for Halloween Kills.
All right. Connor says, Winter Soldier is the most complex MCU character, and I'm excited to spend like 8 hours with that character. Yeah. All right.
No, that's it to the team. And my boy,
Nick with Spider-Man 3.
Do you really have to I don't know. If everything is said to be true, then I am super excited about this film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about it so much. Is why I am okay with moving on from it, because my last 2 are tied for first, and they're just more meaningful things. So.
For me, you can't beat fucking Space Jam. The GOAT finally getting a chance to play with the Looney Tunes. It's great. I love it. Because he's actually a good person and not a shithead off the court.
Let's talk about Bugs Bunny that way.
Talk about LeBron James. Got four rings.
Brian Scalabrine that way, but okay.
Got 4 rings. Just won his first with the Lakers. Greatest of all time. Best overall player to ever play the game. Yeah, can't wait.
Yo, what? The movie though. What do you think about the movie, though? Like that's
Yeah,
that's,
I
I'm trying
just
to
said
hear
I
about the
can't
movie.
wait to see the goat play with the Looney Tunes, especially considering all these Warner Brothers properties we're getting with it.
Moving on to number 2.
Sure, that's right. Taylor, this is you.
Oh, I gotta go again. I've been doing very badly at this so far. All right, Dune's Connor.
Yes.
And matter of fact, I'll tell you the only reason I didn't put Dune on my list is because I knew we would talk about Dune anyway, because somebody else is going to pick Dune. Book of Boba Fett. It's going to be a Matt Thomas original. Encanto. That's going to be the Chris Anthony Lopez.
Yes,
Who
sir.
else? Who else?
And then we got Wulin coming from my man Malbach right there.
That'd be me.
Hell yeah. I went 5 for 5 on that one. Redeemed myself. Let's hear first. Let's hear first from Nick Malbach. Tell me about Wulin. Why are you excited for it?
Why am I excited for Wulin? The idea of this show. It's showcasing filmmakers from around the area and local and independent films, and I was able to be a part of 2 independent films last year that will be scheduled for release this year. So I am just very excited for all the people out there to see the work that we've done, to see how we make films during this crazy time that we're living in right now. And seeing projects just come together, in a time where there's so much uncertainty in the world. There's a million times over. How many times can we say it per episode? But to see films still being made during this time is just incredibly exciting for me. So that's why Wulin means so much to me.
What you got, Matt Thomas?
I mean, Rodriguez is the main reason I put this on here. I trust Favreau and Filoni. Tamora Morrison as Boba Fett this past season on Mandalorian was great. And I can't. So if it weren't for the scene Robert Rodriguez made in that third to last episode, it probably wouldn't be this high on my list.
Yeah.
But that scene is, and then watching the making of the Mandalorian doc for this season and hearing Robert Rodriguez talk about, like, if Mandalorian's supposed to be this warrior, then Boba has to fight like a barbarian. And I'm just like, oh shit. And I'm attached to be one of the showrunners of the show. I'm like, all right, sold.
Who?
Okay. Robert Rodriguez.
Oh, word. Sweet. I didn't know that. Look, so Encanto, right? And Taylor, I definitely want to hear your thoughts on Green Knight. I saw that choice. So Encanto, I talked about this during the Investor Day stuff, and I didn't know this movie was happening until Investor Day. I'd heard of something like this, and it probably got announced ahead of time, but it just flew under the radar to me. And when I saw it at the Investor Day, I'm like, yo, like I love, and Coco is the shit, right? Coco means so much to me, like on multiple different levels. Not only is it a great movie and one of Pixar's best, yeah, I'll say it. And
It is.
I think Disney is like, oh, yo, like Coco, let's make our own, but Colombian instead of Mexican. And I'm like, all right, word. Like, I'll take it. I ain't Colombian, but I'll happily watch some Colombians sing some songs. And Lin-Manuel Miranda, there's his name again, he's writing the songs for this movie. And we know nothing about the cast, the voice cast, or what this movie's going to be about. It just will be about songs and like magic, probably, because it's Disney. And it comes out in November of this year. I'm so looking forward to this. I don't even need to know. It could be a bunch of Chris Anthony Lopez's in the cast, and I'd still watch that movie because I trust the people behind it. I think Disney has been knocking it out of the park recently with their animated movies in-house. Like the last decade, like there's like Pixar, you can poke holes in their filmography the last decade. You can't say, I don't think you can say that too much about Disney. And when Disney focuses on a certain aspect of culture and of part of the world, I think they do a great job adapting that. And yeah, it's not a Pixar. Pixar's been doing that. They just did it with Soul, and they did it with Coco, whatever. But I think that they do a really good job of isolating on a part of the world and fleshing it out to the best of their ability. And now that we're seeing a Colombian Disney movie. Like I said, I'm not Colombian. I have no ties to Colombian culture, but it's so interesting to me that this movie exists. And the song's gonna be bomb. We saw Moana. We heard the songs of Moana. Lynn wrote those too. So Encanto. Yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait to see it.
All right. Here's what Connor has to say about Dune. Anytime there's a Denny film, that's going to be my most anticipated film. And a Denny sci-fi epic with my boy Timothy, I'm effing hype.
Timmy!
All right. We're going to give this last one.
Love Timmy.
Cool. Fuck me.
Yeah. No. Green Knight.
Taylor, I know you're on a time crunch, so I'm just trying to get through them. So we'll let you double up here after Nick guesses these.
Why are we having him guess it? Falcon and Winter Soldier, Matt. Spider-Man 3 is
2 times.
Connor and Chris. St. Maud is Taylor, and I'm Rumble TV because
100%.
It's another independent Cleveland film that I have been heavily involved with for the past 2 years now, and I am incredibly excited for everybody to see it. I've seen it a million times. I'm hyped. It's hilarious. It's funny. It's action-filled. You're going to love Rumble TV once it comes out. Taylor, double up on me, buddy.
Double it up. And this is a combo that works because they're two A24 horror films, which is totally my bag. Not for everybody, but it's always for me. These are two, again, that I wanted to see last year, didn't get to. So I've been shaking in my boots waiting for these movies to come out. Every time Alok Mishra comes on really scared, every time we have the pleasure of having him, he reminds us how much we're going to love St. Maud. So I can't wait to see how right Alok was. Looks amazing. A weird original twist on a possession film about a woman worshiping and praying to Catholic saints. And at least that was my interpretation of it. He gets possessed by one, like a very strange type of possession horror film. Looks really scary. Comes out really soon. Comes out this month theatrically. And then you can watch it at home, I think, next month. Can't wait for St. Maud. And then The Green Knight, kind of the same thing. We've had Arthurian legend films before. Usually they're King Arthur. This one's about Sir Gawain going to find the Green Knight. And they're going to take it as a real, bizarre, surreal, high fantasy take on that world and those characters. And it looks weird. It looks scary. It's got Dev Patel. It's got David Lowery directing. He did a Ghost Story and Pete's Dragon, Old Man and the Gun. Looks so weird, so trippy, so cool, and looks scary. Easily one of my most anticipated of last year and this year. Can't wait for both of those movies.
I'm pretty sure I can speak for Connor in this sense. And I'm going to echo everything Nick said a couple of entries ago with Connor saying in the chat, I don't need to say anything about Spider-Man 3 besides think about 3 generations of Spider-Man on screen together and how you'll feel when you see that. I couldn't say it any better myself. This movie can potentially be the ultimate Spider-Man film for a multitude of reasons, if done correctly. Not only will we show love to prior Spider-Man in live-action films, because we have had other live-action Spider-Man, but Tobey and Andrew's potential inclusion in this makes me really happy. We talked about Spider-Man 3 a little bit ago, and Nick said, beautifully talked about Spider-Man 3, because that's how this movie can be done. And if promoted correctly, done correctly, this has endgame hype written all over it. And we could see Tom Holland officially be the spectacular, bombastic, amazing, whatever Spider-Man, whatever adjective you want to use, Spider-Man, after presumably interacting with the other 2 iterations of the character. Plus, I mean, we were in flux. This movie at a point wasn't going to happen, at least the way we thought it was going to be with the MCU and Sony. But Sony and the MCU were like, okay, we can do one more, and here we are, at least one more for now. And I'm so jazzed. Potentially 3 different Spider-Man on screen. Hopefully not for too long for my own sake, because I will just melt in the theater. So Spider-Man 3, I will see that over anything else on this list. Encanto puts up a hard fight, though, 1,000%.
I think this says all I need to say about Falcon and Winter Soldier. Give me Black Cap. That's all I want. Black Cap. That's all I want. That's all I need.
Couldn't agree more.
I have 90% of the original run of Sam Wilson as Captain America.
Great run, too.
I had to get the Sam Wilson shield, different than the normal Captain American Steve Rogers shield. But yeah, give me my Black Cap and I die a happy boy.
There's a lot of great stuff coming out this year, and I'm pretty sure we had a lot of overlap, but we touched on a decent amount of everything. Luckily, since I'm doing this on my phone, I will not indulge you guys with the rest of my honorable mentions. But the one thing I did want to mention that I was really looking forward to seeing this year and anticipating were award shows, especially, the Golden Globes and the Oscars. I want to see how they adapt, especially with the Oscars getting pushed back a couple of months and them taking the first few months of movies. But there's so much great stuff coming out this year. So much great shit, and I can't wait to cover it on this channel when we get to do so.
That's it. That's the most anticipated. Talking about all this stuff on this channel all year, right there, baby.
I wasn't allowed to put that on my list.
Oh, I heard.
I tried.
He tried to wrestle reel, and Nick did that on a wrestle reel a couple weeks ago.
I did.
The talk was real, and we got more coming.
Yeah, and we got more coming. But that's it for tonight. We got somebody who's on a tight schedule, so we're gonna do this quick. Signing off. I'm Matt. That's Taylor, the Ragent Cleek. We got Chris, the Personality Lopez there, and we got Nick, the Underdog Mulbach. And this was another Who Are They Real Talk.